You took us off-road on the gnarliest trails. You asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong, Toyota trucks.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Athletes know how important it is to stay hydrated. But did you know there are other ways to hydrate besides just drinking water? In fact, milk is a great hydration option because it actually contains water, as well as electrolytes that are lost when your body sweats. So consider taking milk along with you to your next game or competition and enjoy the taste of greatness. For more help finding your greatness, visit unbottled.com.
It's time to start planning for back to school. That's why I got my kids vaccinated for COVID-19, so they can be protected from COVID when they're back in the classroom. Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. The vaccines have been researched and tested. They're safe and they work. Getting vaccinated was quick and easy. You can walk into a pharmacy to get one. We got our COVID-19 vaccine, and I hope everyone will choose to get vaccinated too.
Get a free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you at covidvaccine.idaho.gov.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
You train, you sweat, you practice, you go for the gold, you give 110%, but most of all, you aim for greatness. And milk is the performance enhancer that can help get you to your goal. Trusted by athletes and backed by science, there's a healthy helping of greatness in every refreshing glass of milk. So let nature's original sports drink help quench your thirst for greatness. For more help finding your greatness, visit unbottled.com.
I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, it was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Welcome to Ashton, Idaho. Beautiful day here. A little bit chilly, a little bit rainy here for the quarterfinal playoff matchup between the North Fremont Huskies and the Melba Mustangs. Lauren Jensen, Lance Taylor, and Carter Taylor on the camera with us today. This is an IdahoSports.com game stream production of the 2021 Idaho State Football Tournament. Tournament coverage presented by the Idaho Division of Public Health, your local Toyota dealer, Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter. Stop smoking, start living. Well, Lance, that's a good advice, isn't it?
I like that. Well, it was a different slogan before, where Idaho fights tobacco is what it was, and now they've changed. I like that slogan. That's a good slogan.
Stop smoking, start living, and we'll throw vaping in there as well. But stop vaping, start living.
You have some people that I'm around that I secondhand smoke about 3 full vape pipes a day.
Not good for you.
No, it's not. It is not.
But just a great matchup here. These two teams, Lance, they played earlier this season. In fact, first game of the season.
Actually, second game.
North Fremont traveled over and played Melba on their home field. And this game, of course, here at Candle Stadium here. And here for North Fremont on North Fremont's home field. The final of that game, North Fremont got the win 48-38.
Yeah, high-scoring affair. I mean, when you talk a game that's well over 80 points, between the two teams, that was a high-scoring affair up there in Melba. Melba had a game coming into there as well. They'd played against Fruitland team, a 3A team, and they had lost there. They lost those first two games before going on a winning streak and doing really well throughout the season. And really, what I would call the key win for Melba was actually over West J last week that got them here. West J is a team that throughout the entire season I looked at them and said, you know what, I don't think West J is really a threat to win a state championship by any stretch. But West J was a good enough team this year that if a team doesn't show up to play them, they were good enough to beat them. Yeah, and Melba did get that win last week to force the rematch here against North Fremont. Of course, North Fremont was the 1 seed coming out of Eastern Idaho here in District 6. They had defeated Firth. Firth got the win last night in this 2A conference over Declo. Yeah, a tough win. Yes, very tough win. And they had to kind of come from behind fashion. So depending whoever wins this game here this afternoon will go on to face Firth next week, in the semifinals. Well, and as we got talking about a possible matchup, if North Fremont was to win this game, then it would be a matchup of last year's semifinal game as well. That game was played right here in Ashton, and it's kind of affectionately known here as the Snow Bowl. As it was just pretty much a scoreless game for the most part, and then Firth was able to pull it out at the end before eventually losing to Westside in the state championship game. But Firth and North have already played. I actually had that game a couple weeks ago. One of the most exciting finishes to any high school game that I have probably seen in the last 3 or 4 years. It was an absolute exciting win. Came back. There was, just to kind of give you a little scenario on that, there was 3:48 on the clock, and North Fremont was down by 3 scores, by 3 touchdowns. And on that 3:48 mark, they scored 1 of those and had to score 2 more before the end of the game. Final possession, they threw the ball, did not run it once, and they're, of course, a running team. You'll see the triple option from them, but they threw the ball 3 times and scored just right before time expired. So that was an exciting one. Yeah, a great matchup last week here at North Fremont High School, and they're looking to come away with the same result here, trying to get the win. Of course, Melba's on the other side of that. They want the win here to move on to the semifinals as well. Of course, Westside taking on, I forgot to look at who they're playing today, but Westside. Grangeville on the other side of things, playing today down at Holt Arena. So most everyone's got Westside slated for the W in that one. Well, Westside is of course, they're your reigning state champions, and they have been dominant all year long. I mean, they shut out a pretty decent Marsh Valley team that's a 3A team. They shut them out earlier in the season. They went and shut out Snake River as well. And so, Westside, very, very good program. You see a lot of the wing T, double wing from Westside. And, that's the team that everyone's kind of gunning for here. Yeah, the only close game, or one of the closest game they've had was against Firth. Start the season, which went to overtime. Firth had it won, lost, but so they definitely have some competition here in that 2A ranks. It's just they're being chased right now. Where there's the defending champions. Well, that was a 26-20 overtime victory for them, and you look at this North team who then has knocked off Firth, and I think they look and say, hey, that's a winnable game if we could get there. Well, we're going to take a quick break and step away for the national anthem. We'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Dear Detour, you took us off-road on the gnarliest trails. You asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong, Toyota trucks.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, welcome back here as we start to get the starting lineups for both these. Of course, the Melba Mustangs coming out onto the field as the visiting team, and now the North Fremont Huskies. Huskies undefeated on the season and looking to stay that way. Romero being introduced. Well, Lance, what are we going to see from North Fremont's offense?
I think we're still going to see a lot of that triple option that we see. One of the things that was a little different about Firth when they played the Firth game, for example, most of the season, Jordan Lenz, the quarterback, has been able to hit the edges and then cut up. Against Firth, Firth had the speed advantage there, so North Fremont, under Coach Ben Lenz, made really good adjustments, and what he'd do is he'd cut him up about 5 yards earlier. So he'd cut him up just as he got outside of the D end and was able to pick up yards there. I think we're going to see a heavy run game from North Fremont. However, Lenz is a very good passer as well if they do go to the pass game.
Yeah, and that was something that kind of surprised us last week was how, not surprising, but they went to the air late because they had to, and he was effective throwing the ball.
Yeah, he was.
Just as good as running it.
Yeah, it took him 3 passes to get it into the end zone, and all 3 of those passes, the receptions were in stride, and they were able to pick up significant yardage on those plays, including the 45-yard strike to end the ball game, or to put the leading score up there in the ball game anyway. And so I think we'll see a lot of that from North Fremont. I actually expect to see quite a bit of the same, just a little bit formation, but keeping it on the ground quite a bit with Melba as well.
Well, we're just about ready for the captains' meetings out here in the center of the field. Of course, the Melba Mustangs, they're led by their quarterback. That is Cash Buse. Buse, just a sophomore.
Yep.
Sophomore quarterback for them.
Yep, Buse is one of those kids that we're going to have to watch in today's game. And then the fullback, Trace Stimpson, he'll primarily get most of the carries, barring anything unforeseen in that.
Of course, you got Dylan Stosich, one of the captains out there, senior wide receiver out there as well.
Yeah, should mention that the entire offensive line, with the exception of one, which is Dickard, are all seniors. That includes the tight end as well. Dickard is a junior; he'll come back next year.
So a lot of experience up front for the Melba Mustangs to give their quarterback time to do what he needs to do. Of course, Buse, that's a very common name in that Melba area. There has been a lot of Buses that have come through Melba High School over the past 20 years plus.
That was a high school, you growing up going to New Plymouth, it was a high school that you got very familiar with at those times and have spent some significant time with, or versing that program, I should say. You know what I'm really excited about today? So I had a game on Thursday in the Dome, had a game on Friday yesterday at Rigby, and I am so excited to have uniforms. You can actually read the numbers on them. Rigby last night had those just funky numbers that they had the dark gray jerseys, and they did have like kind of goldish numbers, but then they had that maroon trim around them, and it just makes them tough to see, especially at nighttime. Both these teams, you got the home purple, solid purple with white lettering and numbers for North Fremont, and of course the road white with red numbers, and it's nice being able to see numbers for both teams. Last night was a challenge trying to read those numbers. We could read capitals okay, but we didn't know who to give credit to for Rigby, and they put 41 points up.
Well, before the opening kickoff, we want to thank our power boosters for Melba Ultimate Heating and Air, and for North Fremont Pocock Trucking, Madison Memorial Hospital, Big Judd's, Fall River Electric, and Grand Peaks Medical. Kick that rolls along the grass, picked up at about the 10. On the return, it's number 22, and he's got tons of room to run down the near side, back to the middle, to the 40, the 30. He's going to get caught, but he's all the way down to the 22-yard line. Carson Packer, A 70-yard return out to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Huskies.
Well, it was Gabe Schaefer finally chased him down and made him stop and turn to the inside, and then it was West with the tackle on that play. 3 numbers you're going to need to get very familiar with for North Fremont on offense: 22, 23, and 24. 23 is quarterback Jen Lenz. Carson Packer, number 22, who just ran that ball, and of course A.J. Hill, the running back that's been in this program for several years as well. It's going to be Hill with the carry.
Yeah, a big hole up the middle. A.J. Hill, touchdown. First offensive play of the game. And the Huskies score quickly. Only 22 seconds into this ball game. And it's 6-0.
It's a 25-yard touchdown scamper.
And you mentioned it, Lance. A.J. Hill, Jordan Lenz, and Carson Packer. They bunch them in there. 22, 23, 24 as North Fremont will go for 2. Yeah. Handoff. No, they pitch it out. That is to A.J. Hill, and he gets in right at the goal line. So it's 8-0 for the Huskies.
Yeah, every time I've watched North Fremont this year, I have never seen them kick the ball once. I mean, other than kickoffs, but as far as going for an extra point or a field goal, I have never seen it. They've gone for 2 every single time, and because of that, you become consistent at it. You know your plays. You got a number of things set to get into the end zone, and you'll see, you'll see Packers score that, you'll see Lenz score that, you'll see A.J. Hill, but those 3 numbers will be called on probably about 90% of the offensive plays. One of those 3 numbers will be called.
So a early scoring drive, just a one-play scoring drive set up by that great kickoff return by Carson Packer. And that's, if you're the Mustangs, obviously not the way you want to start the game, but
no, siree.
It's too late now. You got to pick up right where you left off and see if you can get on the board yourself here early in this first quarter. 11:38 on the clock.
St. Anthony Motors, get $10 oil changes for life at the purchase of any new or pre-owned vehicle. St. Anthony Motors services all makes and models. Their service department loves servicing Southeast Idaho with professional and expert customer service. Come in today and talk with their amazing sales teams to find the perfect vehicle for your needs. You'll find that at St. Anthony Motors. Everything is just a tad less.
So North Fremont kick off a low liner taken just inside the 10 and returned up the middle and taken down big time at the 25 on the return. That was number 4, Gabe Schaefer.
Yeah, and on the return was Hank Richardson, at 6'2", 190, just a sophomore. Pardon me, that is incorrect. It was number 67, Jacob Fabinich. Fabinich, one of those names that he plays basketball as well. Love saying that name. There's several names you just really like to say.
Roll off the tongue.
Back when the
handoff up the middle goes to Schaefer again.
I seen back when the Steelers had Chris Fumatuma-Afala from University of Utah.
That one doesn't roll off the tongue as well for me. I'm not even sure what you said.
You don't remember Chris Fumatuma-Afala?
I do remember him, but I never tried to pronounce his name.
Great running back, 255 pounds. Went and played fullback for the Steelers after his college career.
Buse down the field's got his receiver open. It's caught by number 81. Great catch, William Vale, the tight end, all the way down inside North Fremont territory to the 43-yard line.
Well, the outside linebacker stayed on Vale for just about 5, maybe 7 yards and then pulled back. That left Vale wide open. Great catch by Vale. Good-looking tight end. Got that tight end body.
Yeah, and Buse, a big quarterback out there as well, and that was a great throw downfield. Back to pass again on the play action. He's going downfield again, but he's going to overthrow the intended receiver. It was intended for Noah West. And
good defense out there. You see the heavily taped arm of Jacob Hill. And we'll call his name several times as well, but you will see most of the time offensively it's going to be numbers 22, 23, and 24 for North Fremont. I see the purple down there, and it's always hard not to accidentally say Snake River as well.
On the run is Schaefer. Schaefer trying to cut up field. He will. Going to pick up a few yards. Looks like maybe about 6 on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 4 after he's taken down just shy of the 35-yard line.
Yeah, brought down by big number 61. We'll have to get a clarification on his name. He does not show up on our roster for North Fremont. Jim, who's 61? That's Jacob Bellis. He's number 63 on the roster, 61 on the field today.
That wide open down the field, a little trick play from Melba, touchdown. The pass goes to number 12, Dylan Stosich, and what a great play. The throw came from number 20. That's Caden Davis, is that
Daly.
right? Daly, excuse me. I can't see it on the roster, Daly. So what a great play there by Melba. He was wide open with Stosich down the field. Everybody had left him, and it is 8-6 now. They will go to 2 for 2 as well. Handoff goes to big number 13. He just plows over the blocker in front of him and gets in for the touchdown. That's Trace Stimson, the big fullback. And it is all tied up 8-8. And that's exactly what Melba needed to do on that possession.
Yeah, they certainly did, and you know they gave up a quick score to North Fremont, who came out and had the big kickoff return to start the ball game and got deep, or fairly deep anyway, into Melba territory. And to be able to come back and score quickly like that gives you the confidence that you say, okay, now it's a new game. Now it's as if we're starting over again, and ended up being a great play. But you know, I was really impressed with Cash Buse and his accuracy. You know, in their offense, as they came out here, he did have the one overthrow, but it was still a good pass. It's just a matter of a receiver being able to get out there and get under it.
So Melba goes down the field in about a 6 or 7 play drive. With 10:05, they tie it up. They go for 2 and tie this thing up at 8 apiece. 10:05 left here in the first quarter. You're watching this here on IdahoSports.com, the 2A quarterfinals state football playoffs.
Well, and don't forget, you know, we see these 2 quick scores. Don't forget that when these 2 teams played, you know, we talked about it earlier, when they played in the second game of the season this year, it was a 48-38 shootout. And so, you know, it was a game well in the 80s with a combined score.
A little squib kick. They're going to try to keep it out of the hands of the return man. It gets to him anyways. That's number 22 again on the return. This time, much better coverage by the Mustangs. He gets back to the 34-yard line, does Packer.
Packer, just a junior. The other 2 numbers that we talked about primarily that you'll hear, Jordan Lenz and A.J. Hill, that's 23 and 24, are both seniors on this team. We talked about Melba having that heavy senior line with just the one junior on that line.
L.B. Lenz under center. Man in motion is Hill. And it went right up the middle to somehow, not sure, the ball carrier there was number 1.
Yeah, we'll see him occasionally as well. That's Angel Romero. He's a junior. We'll see him sometimes a little bit more as a wide receiver than you do. You see him target him occasional times from the receiver position as well. The way A.J. Hill pulled off the line that time, it looked to me like a false start, the way that he pulled off. You have to pull off in a particular manner. When he pulled off to go into motion,
looked a little too quick almost, right?
Yeah, the way he did it looked like a false start. He was fine that time as Packer came off, but it was a little different for Hill that first time.
That's Romero again, right up the middle. First down as they got about 3 yards right to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for North Fremont.
Well, and this might be a little scenario here where North's looking saying, listen, we've played each other this year. We know what you know, Packer and Hill and Lenz did in the first game, and so we know they'll be gunning for them. You know, maybe we'll, you know, give it around a little bit, go to Romero, maybe a little bit to Jed Hill, and pardon me, not Jed Hill, Jacob Hill. You find out there's never a North Fremont team without a Hill somewhere on it, and usually a Hess, but no Hesses this year.
Yep.
That's interesting.
That's a backwards pass from Lenz out there to Packer. That's Hill, A.J. Hill. He'll pick up just a couple, number 24.
Yeah, and he ends up being brought down by Schaefer, and Schaefer, that was a great tackle.
So Hill picks up, it looks like 3, so it's going to be 2nd and 7 upcoming for North Fremont at about the 48-yard line. 2 quick scores to open this ball game with 8:15 left here in the first quarter. North Fremont back in possession.
Oftentimes what you'll see with North here is a run up the middle, and then you end up, well, they're coming to the edge this time. Usually you'll see a run up the middle there, and then
down the sideline. That is Hill. Finally gets tracked down at about the 15-yard line. He broke free on that little pitch, and a big pickup down to the 15.
Yeah, Noah West saved the touchdown there, and for West, the thing that he did great defensively is he kept his angle on that. You know, oftentimes if you short angle that, you end up behind the player and having to chase him down that way. That was a good one. You know, oftentimes what you'll see on third down from North is you'll see a run up the middle, and then you'll oftentimes see Lenz hit that outside and turn up. And you notice that once again, as they did against Firth, they turn up just as they get outside the defensive end.
Lenz hands it off to Packer. Packer finds a seam down inside the 10 to the 6. It'll be second and about 2. No, 1. They were right at the first down marker, so 2nd and 1 upcoming.
The linebacker Trace Stimson, who we have yet to call on offense yet. He is a big fullback for them. We've yet to call him on offense in that first possession. However, he's the one that came and made the tackle as well. That was a textbook tackle. Down around the waist and brought him down. But again, North Fremont in scoring position.
Lenz goes under center with 7:15 left on here in the first quarter, and a flag comes out. We're going to have a false start, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's going to be on Jacob Bellis. That was the easy call of the night thus far, or of the afternoon, is Bellis. Once again, if you're looking at their roster online or whatnot, it'll list him as 63. Jacob Bellis is 61. Offensive and defensive lineman, just a junior, 6'3", 248 pounds. And that might have been when they weighed him before the season. I think he's got to be somewhere
he's a big
more
kid.
Around that 265, 270 right now. He is a big boy.
Been hitting the weights a little bit during the season.
His parents might take out an extra mortgage to feed him. He is a big kid.
There goes Lenz on the run. Big block. And I don't think that's a great block. I thought he got to the inside of him.
Yeah, well, the shoulder was out just enough
Yeah.
to where that wasn't a blindside block, which
Correct.
is illegal now to hit that. The shoulder just turned a little bit, and I'll tell you what, the shoulder turned just towards the end. Otherwise, that would have been an illegal block.
Yeah, it was awfully close. And, of course, the Melba coaching staff wanting that call over there. Yeah. But a good defensive play nonetheless to track Lenz down and put this to 3rd and 8 upcoming, 6:15 now. Little pitch to the side. Good blocking for Hill. Hill going to get the first down, but he's going to be short of the goal line down at the 1, it looks like.
Well, but what you've given yourself now is you've given yourself a 1st and goal from inside the 2-yard line. Looks like they've put it right on the
right at the
2. And again, you see one of the things that has been such an advantage for North this year has been their ability to hit the edges. They've been able to hit it. However, when they weren't able to hit it like that against Firth, they made the necessary adjustments to gain the same yardage, just cutting up a little bit earlier.
Lenz under center. Handoff to Hill, untouched.
Yeah, this was actually, this time it was Packer.
I missed it. It was Packer.
There's so many 2s involved in there, 22, 23, and 24.
Yeah, trying to find the 4.
So between those numbers, you got 4 2s and then just 2 other numbers.
So the Huskies drive down, about a 65-yard touchdown drive. They score with 5:39 left here in the first quarter. Once again, they will line up for 2. It's A.J. Hill split out wide to the left. Handoff goes right up the middle to Packer. He got hit. Did he fall forward? No, he did not
get it. He did not get it.
So he got hit. Good job by Melba to stop the 2-point conversion. So the score will stay 14-8.
And that's tough to do. Stop that conversion for a team that's all they run is those conversions. ProPete Fertilizer is an enviro-friendly product that reduces leaching. ProPete can help replace organic matter back into the soil. Peat-bound nutrients release when plants need them. Carbon 90 Plus binds nutrients to the natural carbon of peat moss, encouraging steady plant growth for healthier turf with less mowing and thatch. ProPete is a great product for turf and ornamental applications. Uses range from lawns and gardens to shrubs and trees. ProPete wants to wish the Sugar Salem boys, in this case it's the North Fremont boys, that they're wanting to wish good luck in the tournament. Upper Valley Orthopedics is the Upper Snake River Valley's renowned state-of-the-art orthopedic and sports medicine Clinic. Doctors Michael Larson, Kevin Lee, and Travis Torngren are all board-certified orthopedic surgeons treating all conditions of the shoulder, elbow, hand and wrist, hip, knee, foot, ankle, and sports-related injuries. Please call for an appointment at 208-356-9550 or simply request online at UpperValleyOrtho.com. Upper Valley Orthopedics in Rexburg is a proud supporter of North Fremont Athletics.
You know, these two schools, as I think about it, are very similar schools. Both, you know, farming communities for the most part. You know, Melba growing significantly over the last few years, but that ball kickoff taken back at the 5, and on the return, that's number 6, Weston. He tried to cut back.
It was actually Schaefer.
Oh, excuse me.
Number 4,
Schaefer.
He got out and just turf monster.
Yeah.
In this case, the grass monster.
Well, yeah, and it's with his late in the season as we are, this grass is actually doing pretty good up here in Ashton.
Well, for example, we just read from ProPete, and ProPete started putting grass on the fields. They started out with sugar salums because it was just a mud bog in the middle of the field, and it sent those roots about another 8 inches deeper.
Back to pass is Buse on a little out route, too far outside, intended. That was West, intended receiver.
And actually the pass was good. I think what happened on the initial cut, it looked like there was a little bit of contact, that they got their legs jumbled up just a little bit, and it put him about one step behind. Good dive, though, for the pass. It was a great effort at the end there by West to try to haul that in.
We have had a little moisture over the last couple of days up here, and it's, in fact, sprinkling a little bit today off and on. And so grass a little wet down there as well. The field a little wetter than it has been in the past. Buse rolling to his left, looking downfield into coverage and caught. The question, is he out of bounds? He is out of bounds. It was intercepted, but out of bounds.
Yeah,
that was Lenz. Wow.
Yeah, Lenz with the interception. Lenz, a great athlete. He was, as a sophomore, was the state tournament MVP in basketball for that state championship team that North had when he was a sophomore. Of course, his father, Ben Lenz, the football coach, and is the head women's basketball coach. Something interesting, about 5 years ago, Todd Jensen transferred up here, came up here to coach their men's basketball team and took them to the state basketball tournament for the first time since 1928. And, of course, they've won 2 state championships since that time. Todd Jensen not their coach anymore, but they've won 2 state championships since then. Well, sitting in Ben Lenz's office is the sportsmanship trophy at the state tournament from that 1928 team.
That great defensive play there, as that pass was going to be caught by number 81, but knocked away by A.J. Hill. And Hill a little slow to get up off the grass.
Yeah, and you know, Vel had the pass was dead on, you know, and it was threading the needle. It was just able to get just a teeny hand on it. Was Hill, because I'll tell you what, if Hill doesn't touch that, that is going to be a reception.
And a first down for Melba. As it is, it's 4th and 10 now with 5:14, and they're back to punt it away. Return man, I believe that's Packer, all the way back near his 30.
High snap, but able to be brought down.
A little bit of a shorter punt as it bounces towards Romero and takes a little roll inside the 40, down to there by Stosic. And the first defensive stop of the ball game goes to the Huskies.
Well, and when you're not able to get some significant yardage on your offensive possession, what that leads, unless your punter can absolutely just boot it and take a friendly bounce for you, you end up giving some pretty significant field position. And, you know, so far today, when you consider the opening kickoff return and even the second return that got out to the 35, it's been good field position for North Fremont the entire day.
Yeah, very good starting. There's the first carry from Lenz. Lenz had one man to beat there, but a good tackle by Gabe Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer came up and got him. In fact, it looked like the official was maybe a little generous on giving him that extra yard. I think it should have been about a 2nd and 2, maybe even a 2nd and 3 on that. It looked like his knee had touched down, but as it is, they gave him the 9-yard run on that, brings up a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, 2nd and 1 just between the 48 and 49-yard line with 4:33 left to go here in the first quarter. The Huskies on offense again, leading 14-8. Lenz under center. In motion goes Hill. Handoff right up the middle to Packer. First down and more across midfield to, that was Romero running it. Inside Mustang territory down to the 48-yard line.
Well, we talked about that three-headed monster they've had in Packer, Lenz, and Hill, but you start adding Romero into that. Now you got the three-headed monster and a large appendage, large arm that comes off that he's able to come in. But you've also got to consider, too, he's going to have to carry some of this load next year. Lenz is not going to be here next year. A.J. Hill is not going to be here next year. Packer returns. Romero returns. And you have to think that this is great preparation.
So under center again. That ball fumbled on the snap, but still loose, and Melba jumped on top of it. Lenz couldn't get the hold on it. It slipped through his feet, and Melba with the first turnover of the ball game.
It ended up being recovered by number 51, Troy Theobald. And, one of the things that I have noticed with North Fremont this year is when they have struggled with possessions, oftentimes snaps have been the reason. Those fumbles right off the bat have been a struggle at different times.
And it's obviously we can't tell whether it's more the snap or just the Lenz grabbing it from the snap that was the issue there. But nonetheless, Melba comes up with a big turnover and their own defensive stop, and then nowhere to go that time for
loss
Schaefer.
On the play.
Schaefer was looking for a hole, and it closed quickly. They yard loss back to the 50 with 3:33 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, brings up that 2nd and 11. One of the things that I always enjoy doing games out here is usually when you stand right here, you have one of the most beautiful views of the Grand Tetons. And today with the clouds out, we don't have that view of the Grand Tetons.
You can see the bottom of them.
But it is so nice, those early games in the season when the weather's really good, to be able to see those beautiful Grand Tetons.
Buse completes it to number 6, that's West. It's going to be short of the first down, but a nice pickup of about 6 or 7 yards.
I'll tell you what I really liked about what Buse did that time. He didn't panic. He was being pursued in the backfield by Carson Packer. He knew Packer was coming, but he didn't just rush a pass because of it. He continued to move, knew he had that little bit of gap in order to make that, and made the correct pass. Oftentimes in that situation, if it's a less poised quarterback, you'll see him rush that pass, afraid that they're going to get hit. And this sophomore, Buse, is very impressive.
Yeah, big third down here with Buse in the gun. Back to the pass, rolling to his right. Under pressure, gets rid of it. Nearly intercepted again by Lenz. And it'll bring up 4th and 3. It'll be interesting to see what Melba chooses to do here. If they don't get it, it'd be another short field for North Fremont. But they're quickly getting to the line of scrimmage. They're going to go for it, it looks like. Under center is Buse. Buse with a hard count. Got a little bit of jump, but he didn't get into the neutral zone. And now maybe that was the idea.
Well, they got up quick enough that no count was necessary.
And there goes Stimson, big running up the middle for Trace Stimson. First down for the fullback and more.
First time we've called his name today offensively. And I'll tell you what, he is a load. That is tough to bring down a player of his size. I don't see the weight on the roster for Melba, but I would imagine he's probably got to go 215
and
plus.
About 5'9".
Yep.
Hand off to Stimson again. This time they wrap him up a little quicker, but he still picks up about 2 as he falls forward to the 30-yard line, 2nd and 8.
And he might not have even got that, too, if it wasn't for number 55, Sean Canoy, who gave him a good block over on that side, and he followed him, and that helped get him out to that 2-yard gain. Sometimes it doesn't seem like a lot, but sometimes those 2 yards are really well earned.
2nd and 8 with 1:36 here in the opening quarter. Handoff again around the left side, picks up maybe 2 or 3 more on the carry. That's Stimson once again.
Well, you kind of see a little bit of the strategy, as they came out passing the ball. What does that do? Well, that starts spreading out, bringing the outside linebackers out farther, bringing your middle linebacker back. Your safeties are out of the play. And now what happens? You start running the ball, picking up some yards. That's why it's nice when you have the athletes that you can mix that up, where you're just not one-dimensional.
3rd and 6. Back to pass. Buse clutches and gets rid of it. Tackled right where he catches it. It's going to be short by about 3 yards of the first down, it looks like. So it's going to bring up 4th and actually it's more like 4th and 4 with 46 seconds.
Yeah, Dax Cherry came out there, and this is a no-brainer. Go for it at this point. Dax Cherry, just so you know, his grade in school is 0. Everybody else is like a sophomore, junior, whatever. He is 0.
He's a transfer student.
He must be. Down under 20 seconds now remaining in quarter number 1.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get one more playoff here. 15 seconds and counting. A lot of wideouts here now. Rolling left is Buse. Going for the far receiver. It's underthrown, picked off. Was he inbounds?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Side judge calls it inbounds.
So an interception over there by A.J. Hill at about the 1 or 2 yard line.
A.J. Hill's been about everywhere. And you know, for Melba, very unfortunate because they were able to get the turnover down here on this end and avoid going down 21-7. 21-8, I should say. But
so actually mark him down about the 2 or 3. But still, if you're Hill, you start thinking, shoot, I should have maybe just knocked that down rather than catch it where it was. Was it third? Sorry, maybe it was just third down on that play. I believe it was. But room to run up the middle.
And that's got to run our first quarter to the end.
And that was Lenz on the run. So that'll end the first quarter. Second quarter upcoming.
Pocock Trucking is based in Sugar City, Idaho, but sends trucks all over the western United States as well as Canada. Pocock Trucking is full service, and by that we mean they do everything. They haul bulk commodities like feed, fertilizer, grain, and potatoes. They offer minor shop repairs and have a full-service lube bay. They grow potatoes, dairy-quality alfalfa, and more. They can even sell you a used truck if you need one. Pocock Trucking's main office is in Sugar City, and their truck shop is located in St. Anthony. To find out more, go to PocockTrucking.com. Pocock proudly supports North Fremont Athletics, and they want to wish them good luck in the state playoffs. Baxter Funeral Home in Ashton is a full-service funeral home with a focus on traditional service offerings. They understand how difficult it can be when your family experiences a loss. Their professional and dedicated staff will walk you through every step of the process, helping you create a unique service that best fits your values and needs. Located at 717 Main Street in Ashton, we are honored to service your funeral needs. Find out more by visiting them at Bax, that's B-A-X-T-E-R, BaxterFH.com, or simply give them a call at 208-652-3226. Baxter Funeral Home is proud to support the students in the area, and they say good luck in tonight's game.
Oh, I didn't mention we got the North Fremont Pet Band down here in front of us.
Yes, we do.
On a cool Saturday afternoon. So
yeah, it makes the trumpets one note higher. You got to adjust just a little bit.
That's why they have that little slidey piece so you're in tune.
We got Carter here doing the filming today. He played a little bit of trumpet in his days. He was extremely horrible and drove me nuts at home, but he played a little bit of trumpet.
You just love the support from your father. It's great. Hill on the carry, trying to get to the outside, makes a couple men miss, now gets a nice block, and down the field goes Lenz, that's Jordan Lenz.
Well, that's one of the things Lenz is so good about is getting to that edge and getting up. And you notice that until he's ahead of everybody, he's not necessarily doing it with speed as much as he is angles and cutting. Use a lot of lateral movement to get to the inside and then be able to head north-south. Or in this case, east-west. This is one of the few east-west fields in the state. You hear the term north-south, and you know it makes it very interesting early on in the season with an east-west field like this, because you know the sun is still up when games start early on in the season, and it makes it tough for a team that's trying to throw the ball into the west or a receiver trying to catch it going to the east.
So 1st and 10 after that big run from Lenz. Handoff goes to Packer going to the left side. He gets caught in the backfield and team tackled there. Good pursuit by Melba as they get him back at the 25-yard line.
Melba did a great job on that. It looked like it was Overall that got him first, and then coming in to finish it off was William Vell. Of course, Vell, we've called his name several times. He's been targeted as a tight end. One thing you notice, you see it a lot at the 1A, D1, D2 level, as well as 2A, and then you'll see it a bit in 3A as well, is most of your top players will go both ways, both sides of the ball. I had that Capital at Rigby game last night, and they had a lot of dedicated players that just play one side of the ball.
Handoff goes to A.J. Hill. He picks up about 5. So it's going to bring up 3rd and a long 7. as we've got some wind coming out of the southwest.
I don't expect this if they're not to pick up a first. I really don't expect this to be go-for-it range for North Fremont. I think they would punt in that scenario. Therefore, I think probably expect a pass coming up on this particular play. They do have an eligible receiver, and I think he'll cut in. We are going to get a timeout.
Yeah, they had Romero split out to the far side, and you're right, they'd have eligible receiver here on the near side. But the timeout comes first. North Fremont's first time out of the ball game.
Crapo Trucking is a locally owned and operated heavy haul trucking company situated right in St. Anthony, Idaho. Their office is located at 1908 East 500 North, or give them a call at 208-624-3293. Being part of the community is important for Crapo Trucking, and they are proud to support all of the local schools and student athletes. The crew at Crapo Trucking wants to wish the Sugar Salem boys, or in this case the North Fremont boys, once again, good luck. Sugar Salem, of course, their game opened up the quarterfinal round, as that was a Thursday game against Marsh Valley in the 3A division. That was in Holt Arena. That was on Thursday night. They picked up the win, and they will play the winner of a game going on right now, which is out on the west part of the state, as Homedale, the number 1 ranked 3A team in the state, is hosting South Fremont from just down the road from here. In fact, they share a school district with North Fremont.
Well, and of course, Melba and Homedale aren't too far apart over there in western Idaho either.
No, they're not.
Those two teams used to be in the same conference.
Yeah.
As Homedale got bigger, they've moved up into the 3A ranks.
So at Homedale, you got the red, black, and white facing the red, black, and white today out there.
Yep, that's right. Handoff goes to Hill. Big hole. Hill, it's a foot race. A.J. Hill, he's not going to get caught. Touchdown, North Fremont. A huge run from A.J. Hill on 3rd and 8, and it's now 20-8.
Yeah, A.J. Hill, what a great run. When he gets out ahead, he is awfully tough to catch. Great effort by Gabe Schaefer, who did everything he could to chase him down, unable to get that ankle tackle at the end. Just a minute and a half, a little over a minute and a half into this second quarter.
20-8 now the score with 10:25 left here in the second quarter. We talked about there was a lot of points put up in this match early in the season, and right now it's looking that way as well. Little pitch goes to Romero, diving for the goal line, and the 2-point conversion is good. So Romero gets in, but up a little hobbled. He did take a shot right in the thigh on that tackle. A little nice. Man, that hurts right there.
That's what the thigh pad is for.
Yeah.
You rub a little dirt on that, you're good to go next series.
Yeah, those shoulder pads are a little harder than those thigh pads I've found over the years.
That is true.
Has a big shot into his thigh, and hopefully he can run that off.
You're the parent of a high school senior who is planning to continue their education at college or through technical training. Fall River Electric offers scholarships valued up to $2,400 for each student. Scholarship applications for students of customers of Fall River Electric will be available online after January 1st of 2022 at fallriverelectric.com. You can simply click the My Community tab for information and application forms. Fall River Electric, help your student continue their education. That's Fall River Electric, your trusted energy partner.
So
big shout out to all of our local sponsors here today. You got St. Anthony Motors, ProPete, Pocock Trucking, Upper Valley Orthopedic, Baxter Funeral Home, Crapo Trucking, Fall River Electric, and of course Blackfoot Communications as well.
Our power booster for Melba, Ultimate Heating and Air Conditioning, and then Pocock Trucking, Madison Memorial Hospital, Big Judd's, Fall River Electric, and Grand Peaks Medical here at Candler Field in Ashton, Idaho. Home of the North Fremont Huskies as they find themselves with a 2-score lead here with 10:25 left to go in the first half. Return coming from number 4 for the Mustangs. That's Schaefer. A decent return out to the 30-yard line where Melba looking to get on the board again after that opening drive where they drove down quickly and scored. They've turned it over a couple times.
We've called Schaefer's name tonight as he has been involved quite extensively offensively as well as defensively.
A little bit of a reverse handoff. We got a blocker out there on the run. That's number 20. Switched in arms with the football. He's going to get very close. In fact, he's got the first down out across the 40. So a nice play design there from the Mustangs.
And I'll tell you what, Sean Canoy, number 55, that was his textbook of lead blockers you're going to find out on the edge. That was a great block. He did everything that he could do, and he opened up a lane that really led to that first down. What a great block by number 55, Canoy, the senior.
On the run, number 20, Caden Davies. Handoff that time to Stimson. Stimson forward for about 5 yards, right to the 45-yard line. Good carry by the big fullback. 2nd and 5 upcoming.
Yeah, we have to apologize just a little bit. His name is actually Daly, is the last
Daly.
name.
I said Davies last time.
But that's okay because
Daly.
What happened is the roster here has the logo from Melba right in the middle of it, and it comes across dark, so it's really hard to read the names that are in that dark spot. We had one of their assistant coaches here that we had the opportunity to go over the names with before the game, so we could at least get pronunciations.
I fixed it. Buse back to pass, looking downfield, under pressure, nearly picked off, nearly caught as well, as both Schaefer and Hill had a hold of it momentarily.
Well, he was looking to go deep, and then he goes to his check down receiver in that scenario, almost got caught at the time, but was able to get loose of it or get rid of it. But very, very lucky for Melba that A.J. Hill did not step up and pick that off to get his second pick of the ball game.
Yeah, both Schaefer and Hill had their hands on it at the same time, and then as they tried to rip apart, it fell to the ground. So 9:05 left here in the second quarter, a big 3rd down and 5 for the Mustangs. Buse looking downfield, and it's incomplete. They had him open, but good coverage by number 2, Jed Hill, to break it up.
Yeah, Jed Hill, one of those young sophomores. There's a few of them that are getting some playing time on this team. Now, speaking of that, you go back 2 years ago, when Lenz and A.J. Hill and a bunch of these other guys were sophomores. That was actually quite a heavy sophomore-laden team that they had. They started about a half dozen sophomores on that team that went both ways. So not, anytime you get down to 2A, 1A and stuff, you'll see a lot of sophomores and actually some freshmen too.
So a 4th down and 5, and they've got the punt unit out there, and it will get punted away.
Nice punt.
Yeah, very good punt. No return back there, and it's going to take a nice roll as well, all the way down to about the 7-yard line. So a great punt by number 55, that's Sean Canoy. Good punt by him to pin North Fremont deep.
Well, and I think you use that as some motivation right there as you you're able to pin them fairly deep. Looks like they're going to be about on the 7-yard line. That's what the scoreboard has as well, showing the 7. And you use that. You get a big stop here, and that gives you a big momentum, shift if you're a Melba. Because right now, Melba has really been unable to figure out the North Fremont riddle.
Yeah, aside from that opening drive, it's been all North Fremont. Little pump going down the field. It's Packer. Packer catches it, and I think that's going to be offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be an offensive pass interference, is number 82, Richardson. And, fans are going to boo that, but I think that was an obvious offensive pass interference on that play. He turned, he just created space by pushing off, and that's what happens. Only half the distance to the goal, but then you're on the 7-yard line, so move back just a couple feet.
To the 3.5. But, yeah, that's one of those he had pretty good inside coverage, did the defensive back, and you saw 2 hands from Packer extend, and then he was able to go up and get the catch.
Yeah,
so
it was actually
call.
Richardson, number 82, Hank Richardson.
Big, was it 82?
Yeah,
My mistake.
Big tight end on that
yeah,
play.
Okay.
But Richardson, just a sophomore, 6'2", 190. That's a pretty good-sized boy.
And here comes Hill. Hill takes on a tackler and sheds one, gets out across the 10. Or excuse me, that Lenz. Can't get those 3s and the 4s.
Those
and
3s, 2s, and 4s. It's awfully tough. Maybe they do that on purpose. Maybe it confuses the defense as well.
Well, it's working on me, I can tell you that. Out to the 11, so now it's going to be 2nd and 7 after that first down penalty. About a 5 or 6 yard gain on that run from Jordan Lenz.
Yeah, and for Jordan Lenz, that was just one of those earned runs because the defense was good. They hit him early, But he just kind of, drugged some defenders, as North Fremont calls their second timeout of the first half.
Second timeout. We're going to take a quick break and thank Blackfoot Communications. This is the quarterfinals of the 2A state football playoffs. We'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
Blackfoot Communications is and always has been deeply committed to the communities we serve. We strive every day to provide exceptional customer experiences and a vision to bring fiber-based services to every home and business in our service territory. This year, we're beginning our fiber construction to the Island Park area in Idaho. To learn more, visit goblackfoot.com/IdahoSports. Good luck in this year's tournament.
Dear Detour, you took us off-road on the gnarliest trails. You asked us to measure up, so yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong, Toyota trucks.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, welcome back after the timeout from North Fremont. It's 2nd and 7. Lenz hands it off up the middle, a little bit of a gain. It's going to be about 3rd and 5 upcoming.
It looked like that was Packer with the carry that time. And Packer, we haven't called his name a lot today like we usually do. Of course, he had that big, huge opening return on there. But we've seen Romero carrying the ball quite a bit. And I think they've used Packer as a decoy a bit because he's one that defenses are going to gear on for sure.
So it's about 3rd and 4 after the spot. 7:33 left here in the first half, 22-8. The Huskies on top. Lenz, a bad pitch, and it hits the turf, and Packer, all he can do is dive on it.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, for North Fremont, you were awfully lucky that play because if Melba picks that up, that's a scoop and score.
Yeah, and even if they dive on it, that's great field position, them right at the 10-yard line. So now it's 4th down and about 7, and we're going to see the first punt from North Fremont back to do the punting. That's number 84, Dax Cherry, also the linebacker, or the tight end. And that's a high snap through the hands of Cherry and nearly blocked, and then he gets into the punter.
Now, the thing to consider, that is, if that is a running into the punter, that's only a 5-yard penalty, and they still will have 4th down. If it's a roughing the punter, that will be an automatic first and something that would really hurt Melba after making such a great defensive play.
So they do just say running into the punter.
Okay, so it's gonna be 4th and about 3.
So it's still going to be 4th down. But, man, North Fremont, 2 bullets dodged in a row right there on the fumble on the pitch, and then a bad snap that could have gone out of bounds for a safety, really, out of the back of the end zone.
Yep. Well, and in that, even best case scenario, if he gets a good punt off, you're going to have great field position. In that case, I mean, you got to love the aggression from your player, but at the same time, in that case, you got to kind of think that scenario through beforehand. Because they're going for it now. They very well might get this.
And now it's 4th and 2, and they do, like you said, call a timeout. So bold move here from the Huskies if they do opt to go for it here on 4th and 2 from their own, they're at their 15-yard line, deep in their own end of the field.
Well, I think the idea was, and these decisions are made in practice. I think the idea was we're going to get up there in a situation like this. Anytime it's within 5 yards on a 4th and 5, we're going to try to draw them off first. If we don't, then we'll make the decision from there. However, you got to remember that North Fremont has already blown or burned through 2 of their timeouts. I shouldn't say blown; they were good timeouts, but they still got 6:50 left in this ball game, or pardon me, in the second quarter. And so, really, in that scenario, you've got to try to draw them off and then use that last time out, but then that puts you out of it and unable to do the same thing again.
So it's 4th and 2 for the Huskies. 6:49 left here in the first half.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Lance, 22-8.
I think we'll see the same thing. I think we're going to see him come out and try to draw them off. And if not, then punt.
Melba back out onto the field after the timeout, and head coach Ben Lenz out there with a towel, probably rubbing that football down a little bit. Where it's been wet. The rain's kind of stopped. It's not really sprinkling much anymore, but it was earlier in the ball game. They're lined up to go for it again. Lenz under center. Tight formation. They bark a little bit. And now
that's going to be offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a false start.
They tried to get Melba to jump, and in the meantime, somebody moved on the offensive line for North Fremont. So now the ball back at the 10.
Well, and why would you ever move on that if you're offensive? You know that's a no-hike situation because you're going to call the timeout if you can't get them to jump on that. And so that's just, a little bit unexcusable.
Cherry back to punt again. A better snap this time, and Cherry will get the punt away, no problem. Return man takes it at his own 40, or at North Fremont 45. Down the right side, he's got blockers. Still down the sideline, finally out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Well, it was a low trajectory punt. Stosich was able to get it and headed right for that sideline, headed up, and juked out the defender right off the bat in that. What a great return. I really like what happened on there for Stosich. So we've seen him in a big pass situation. Caught a big pass earlier in the first quarter and ended up with a great run there as well.
And great field position here now for the Mustangs, down 2 scores at the 25-yard line of North Fremont. Direct snap goes to the ball carrier number 2, and he spins forward for about 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, that's Buse.
Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that was Buse. Yeah, he hasn't taken off and run in the game thus far.
Just one other time, and it wasn't by far. And I think North may have got away with a face mask on that play as well. It looked like if he didn't get the mask, he got the ear hole on that.
Yeah, I saw it kind of spin around. The head didn't whip really bad, but his whole body spun around.
Yeah.
It looked like they had him up around that helmet area. Handoff, lead blocker, that's 4, and he finds a seam and then drugged down by the ankle from behind.
Schaefer on the carry does a great job getting out. I think this is a real methodical possession right now for Melba, and when you look at their 1st and 10, and can still get a first down before a score as well.
Yeah, they're just inside the 15-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. 5:40 left here in the half. A score here would really do a lot for Melba as they're down 2 scores. To pull it within 6 or 8 before half would be a big boost.
Well, I believe they get the ball to start the second.
Handoff right up the middle, hit at the line of scrimmage, and nowhere to go. Schaefer gets a yard or 2 maybe. So it'll be second and a long 8 upcoming.
Melba still with a couple timeouts left that they can use in this half. This would be huge for Melba. After that stop there, if they could punch it in, make it a 1-touchdown game going into the half, especially getting the ball to start the second half, you look and say, guys, we can come out and make this a tight ball game. Now, if you punch one in, of course, you'd have to step up and stop North Fremont as well before the end of the half. And North Fremont has shown they can get down the field pretty dang quick.
Taking their time here to get back to the huddle, letting that clock roll down. It's down to 4:35 now. Man in motion. That's Stosich. And off goes Buse, but he gets caught. He's only going to gain a yard.
It was a good fake by Buse, actually. That handoff, several of the defensive line went with him, and it was actually one of the safeties and a linebacker that came up and finally brought him down. We talked earlier about these communities are primarily farm communities. And these farm communities, to me, brings a special type of athlete. I live down in Sugar City, and of course, everyone knows the success that Sugar Salem has had over the last number of years in virtually every sport. They were the first school since 1983 to sweep the winter sports with girls and boys basketball and wrestling. And, people have asked me, what is it? And I look at these smaller communities with a lot of these farm kids on it, and these farm kids tend to be very coachable kids. And I think one of the things, too, is you have a group of parents with these kids that allow their kids to be held accountable by those with stewardship over them. And success without accountability does not happen. And these kids are willing, and their parents are willing to have them be held accountable.
Buse was on the roll and got stuck and sacked by.
That's Packer. And I wasn't even sure if he saw Packer coming the way the hit took place. The way the hit took place
like
was,
he didn't
was
even
kind of if you didn't see him coming.
Yeah, like he didn't even try to avoid him. Buse took a shot right in the breadbasket.
Well, I don't know what the kicking game, is like for Melba.
Well, based on the way they're lining up here, it doesn't look like that's the plan, as they are going to run it on 4th and 11.
Of course, a big kicking game last night in 5A, a 58-yarder from Highland.
Down the middle, he's got his receiver, Stimson, touchdown.
Boy, what you got yourself in a little bit of trouble in that, going into that 4th down, and you throw a nice touchdown pass over the middle to Stimson. Great play by Melba to pull within a touchdown on your score.
Yeah, just down 8 now with the 2-point conversion. I'd drop it to 6. But, yeah, that was a great just pass right across the middle. Yeah, Stimson took a little hit right at the goal line. But on 4th and 11, Melba converts to bring this to a 1-score game. Buse is back in the pistol. Handoff. No, he did hand it off to Schaefer. Schaefer got in.
Gets in. The 2-point conversion, good for Schaefer. And, that makes it a 6-point ball game. That's a touchdown and an extra point gives you a lead in that scenario.
So a good scoring drive from Melba after they forced the punt from North Fremont. A good return back to the 25-yard line, and then on 4th and 11, they get the touchdown score and the 2-point conversion. 2:45 left here in the first half. Melba's drawn within 6. Still plenty of time here for North Fremont.
They always take care of us out here at North Fremont. They tend to bring us a burger, and they they're cooking those fresh burgers on that grill down there, and everything on it. They tend to bring one up to us during halftime. We'll see if that happens. If so, I might have to switch my will to cover.
Sorry, Carter.
North Fremont. Carter, you're going to lose out on a little bit of dough.
A little bit, like $5, but
that's right. And you got to pay taxes on that.
Dang inheritance tax.
Yeah, they've always taken care of us. And they have good burgers. Those ones done on the grill. When you have to wipe grease up off your arm from dripping down and do it, that is a good burger.
It's dripping off your elbow.
That's when you know you've had a good burger.
It's good to come to these smaller schools. They really do take good care of us. And, that can be said for officials as well.
Yeah.
I ref basketball for a lot of years, and they're appreciative of people coming out and supporting their kids. And we're appreciative of all the parents and the hard work, the coaches that do a great job here. Little squib kick picked up by Packer back at the 15. Slips and goes down at the 28-yard line.
Well, he slipped in the same spot that we saw Gabe Schaefer slip when he was returning a kickoff return as well. And it is, you mentioned it. It hasn't been a heavy rain, but there's just been a little drizzle at different times, and it's enough just to kind of slicken up the field a little bit. And because, it's cloud cover, too, you don't have the sun drying things out.
Yeah, one of the cooler days here in eastern Idaho.
Yeah, and of course, on many years, we've had, we've had snow on days like this. And this has been a beautiful fall in Idaho.
Lenz hands it off to Hill. Hill, room to run outside, and he's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Steps out of bounds. Well, not even a yard. Steps out of bounds right across the 35-yard line. Yeah, just 46 degrees here in Ashton. For a November day, that's not bad.
Yeah, we'll take it, especially since it's really not windy. If it's windy, that, of course, takes another 10 degrees off, it feels like, with the chill factor. But, Hill, going back to that play, what a tough runner. Hill does that textbook thing that you teach kids from when they're small kids, that you got to keep those legs churning.
That handoff goes to Packer around the other side. Packer's got room to run. Flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this will come back. This was a hold, and it was.
And now another flag, a mistake there. As they're going to have a hold, and then you're going to have a personal foul.
It'll offset, and that'll come back. They'll just replay the down is what they'll do.
There's actually 2 flags, maybe for separate infractions back here around the line of scrimmage, just about 2 yards or 3 yards downfield, and then, of course, the late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, most likely will end with an offset.
Always gets fun for the officials when you have multiple flags and multiple infractions on the play as they try to sort that out here with 2:27 left. Other games going on. I mean, the West Side's playing right now. That's on IdahoSports.com.
West Side Grangeville. That's the other side of the bracket from North Fremont.
So that's so 2 holding penalties against, and then a personal foul against Melba. So they're gonna.
Yeah. Since there was 2, now if it would just been 1, they'd have done the offset. Now what they do, because there's 2, now they go to the 10 or the 15. So it's essentially a 5-yard gain for North Fremont, which will be a first down.
Block in the back, holding, and a late hit.
Yeah, and if they do a yardage offset, that's 5 yards for North Fremont. No, they're going back. Okay, they're doing it. They're charging both. I get used to the college rule on that, which is a little bit different. No, here we go. We're right.
So they did, because they're, you're right.
Yeah, that's
they marked them both off.
Yep.
So it'll be a first down because of the late hit. And that's the problem with the late hit there is they had them. You had them. It would have been a 10-yard penalty.
Yep.
And
yeah, he's got to go back. I was saying he gave him an extra yard on that. He's got to go back.
That was a 16-yard. No, there we go, 15.
Just a little bit.
But, yeah, that late hit, no real reason for it. But nonetheless, first down for North Fremont after marking off the penalties, 2:27 left. Pitch goes to Hill. Hill driven out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Boy, I was really surprised with Hill on that play that he continued to the outside. He had a great block by Packer that opened up an inside cut-up. If he'd have wanted, I think he could have got another 10, 15 yards out of that play had he cut to the inside. And, that's easier said than done. It requires a nice, a firm cut into the ground. And that's oftentimes where people tend to, their ACL stays in one spot. The rest of their knee moves to another.
Lenz under center. Man in motion is Hill. Handoff goes to Romero right up the middle. He's going to be short of the first down, gets to midfield. So it's going to be 3rd and 2 upcoming.
Yeah, first in on the tackle, Robert Knight, big number 88, a senior. They also list him as a tight end as well as a defensive lineman. He's a big boy. He's another one of those that, we can't see the weights on their roster, but I'd imagine he's got to go 250 plus and probably be about 6'5".
Lenz gets caught in the backfield, nowhere to go, sacked all the way back to the 46-yard line. And a timeout taken, it looks like, by North Fremont.
Well, we're under $1:50 on the clock, and for Melba, they're going to do whatever they have to, or at least as hard as they can, to try to stop the Huskies from putting another score up on, especially considering, if you're Melba, you look at it and say we've got the ball to come out in half number 2. Gives us an opportunity to tie and potentially take a lead.
Quitting smoking, chewing, or vaping is tough, but so are you. If you're ready to quit, there is help. Visit projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW today. And remember to join Idaho Sports Nation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Just click on the icons in the top left to follow us now, especially here during state playoff time. And don't forget to check out the regional prepcasts. Our resident experts, except for Lance, talk about what's going on in the part of the state where you live.
Did you mean especially, Lance? Or
I'm sorry. It did say especially.
Okay.
Maybe that was a Freudian slip. I don't know.
Just want to make sure.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness. Look at these good people from North Fremont.
Well, you didn't have to give one to Carter.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now we got a good burger in front, which means come halftime we might have to play the ads a couple times.
Yeah, we'll get those advertisers some good coverage.
So that we have a chance to eat it.
So after the timeout, it's 4th and 6. Minute 48. They're lined up to go for it. Lenz back to pass. Down the field, he's got Hill wide open. Hill to the 20, to the 10, and shoved out of bounds down around the 5-yard line.
Well, and one of the things that gave it, the defender, by the way, knocked him out was Dylan Stosich. But one of the things that really added to all the extra yards on that play was the ability to hit Hill in stride. We talk about, you see the run game so much with North Fremont, and I think Lenz is very underestimated of what he can do with his arm because he's got a great pass.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they had one pass play that was out in the flat, but I thought it was backwards. That might be the first pass of the half.
Yeah, that's statistically actually called a pass. Yeah, could be.
Handoff. No, Lenz keeps it himself. He's going to get inside the 5 down to the 3 or 4. It's going to be 2nd and goal with 1:28 clock rolling. So a big pass play gives North Fremont an opportunity to get that score back. Lenz keeps it, slips, but gets into the end zone. Touchdown. With 1:12 left, it didn't take long. And they're now leading 28-16.
Well, again, with that running game, what do? You start pulling in the safety, start bringing the linebackers up, and all of a sudden you pop a pass and get somebody out ahead, which is what happened. And being able, again, we've talked about it, having the athletes to give you that ability to mix things up when you need to, rather than being only one-dimensional, gives you that extra option. And, that's worth an extra touchdown or 2 in a ball game.
And a great pass play. Lenz pitches it to Packer. Packer for the 2-point conversion. Good blocking on the outside to keep Schaefer away, and the 2-point conversion is good, and it's 30-16.
Yeah, and we still got 1:12 left on the clock, and as fast as Melba scored the first time they had the ball, we might see another score.
Oh, a quick answer from North Fremont after Melba had cut it to a 6-point lead, and now it's back to 14. These two teams getting after it once again here on the opposite side of the state this time as they've matched up. Our army of Idaho sports action photographers are covering games from one end of the state to the other each week. We've revamped the galleries to make it even easier to find and order snapshots of all the memorable moments made this season. Click the Action Photos link to purchase prints or digital downloads today. And we talked a little bit about those prep casts. Really do get on and look at them. They're great. Yeah. Listen to those, watch them on YouTube. You can listen to them wherever you get your podcasts. Good insight from people that are in the areas of the state that see these teams from across the state. It's been fun as we've led up to the playoffs.
Well, and Brandon Bainey does all of those.
As the host.
As the host for those. And then depending on the district, he ends up, with one person out of the district. I handle District 6 with him, and during the wintertime, we talked about maybe combining 5 and 6 together since so many of those teams play each other just because of sheer location. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
A kickoff taken by the up man. That's number 20 on the return. Taylor going to the far side, trying to get the corner, but it's going to get taken down at about the 33-yard line, it looks like.
So it was Packer that finally chased him down there. However, we still got a minute on the clock, and we know very well that Melba can move the ball downfield. We saw it on their first possession with their passes, what they did, and they've ran quite a bit more as of late. But with a minute on the clock, you expect them to air it out a little bit here. They've still got another timeout. In fact, I show them as having 2. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that, but I show them as having 2.
That was Daly on the return, number 20 for the Mustangs. That's Daly in motion. They throw it out in the flat. Daly with a nice block. Now they've got a man downfield, wide open. It's Schaefer. Schaefer on the run. That's going to be a touchdown for the Mustangs.
Wow.
What a play drawn up there. They throw it out in the flat. The second pass to Schaefer wide open.
And right when that first pass was made, I was just about to say that's actually a backwards pass. They can still throw it forward if they want. Just I was about to say that. He went into his motion and threw it.
So a great play. And Melba, just like we were saying, they strike quickly. 48 seconds still left. That was only about 20 seconds of game time from the kickoff. Up the middle goes Stimson for the 2-point conversion, and he got there.
Yeah, Stimson, tough runner, tough to bring down. He knew he was in, and it was just academic taking him down after that. But brings us within a 1-score game again, 26-30. And we still got 48 seconds on the clock. We might very well see another score before
Yeah, we still got
game.
time for 2 more scores. 48 seconds left here in the half.
This has been a very entertaining first half. And of course, as we mentioned before, got to remember this game was 48-38 early on in the season when these two teams met in Melba.
We're well on our way to that if things continue as is. So
you know, it's nice when teams are willing to travel and get to other parts of the state and so forth, because there is some challenges when you get to the state playoffs, because, you know, particularly if you play a team up north, rarely do you ever have an opponent in common with them. You know, and one of the things that's nice is when different conferences go out and play in another conference that's a ways away, it also gives good scouting material to other teams in your conference should they meet up against that team come state playoff time, you know, and you can kind of gauge based upon how your conference opponent played them.
Of course, Melba, it's a good, on a bus, it's probably pretty close to 5 hours.
I would imagine
4.5, 5 hours to get all the way up here to Ashton. Of course, they went and watched down at Holt Arena last night, the Firth matchup, as that ball kicked along the ground. And tell you what, you know, if I'm that kid right there, number 72, I know that's what they're taught to do when you're the up guy like that.
Yeah,
I'm taking off. I'm running.
That's about win.
He could have got 10, 15 more yards
before even getting hit first, you know. And that's. And of course, you know, one of the
that's
goals
the way they're coached.
One of the goals of the squib kick is to have that happen.
Yeah,
you know, hoping that the defender or the return man does that.
Guess the plus side is not much time came off the clock. 46.6 seconds left here on the clock, so plenty of time.
Well, first time we've seen 3 eligible receivers. You got a twin right, single left set.
Back to pass is Lenz. And it's thrown short, but a nice catch there made by number 82, Hank Richardson, going down and getting it.
Yeah, last time they targeted Hank Richardson was when he got the offensive pass interference call, but this time Hank Richardson goes down, slides like he's sliding into home base, and catches it.
Clock running, 34 seconds and counting. Lenz back to pass again. He's got Richardson open across the middle. It's caught again. Another first down, so the clock will stop momentarily while they reset the ball.
Well, and certainly if you're Melba here, you're saying, listen, we'll give up a couple short ones across the middle not to give up a big play. But certainly North can move it down the field.
The ball was spiked. There were still defensive players over on the far side. So I don't see any flags yet.
Yeah, I don't either.
There were still guys trying to get off the field, whether they were off. Now, there is a flag from the back judge. We'll see what that was about.
That might be an illegal substitution. Yeah.
That's what it was. They'd had too many men on the field.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
So that not only does it stop the clock, it doesn't burn the down either. So it's 1st and 5 because the spike didn't matter. So 1st and 5, 20 seconds left from inside the 20 at the 19. Out into the flat it goes to Hill. Hill missed the first guy but gets taken down by the next. Now they've got to spike the ball. 13 seconds and counting.
Well, you know, it was a nice move by number 12, Stosic, to turn him to the inside with that initial hit, and then Manny Zapata comes in and is able to make that tackle.
So they do get the spike as North Fremont quickly got to the line of scrimmage. 6.7 seconds left here in the first half. North Fremont trying to make something happen here.
I, for whatever reason, thought North Fremont was out of timeouts.
Yeah, they spiked it there to stop the clock. A little discussion out there.
Yeah, but
I think you're right.
Your
they
play
are.
Clock still starts.
Correct. Yeah, correct. But they were taking. You're right. They're taking some time, aren't they?
They are.
We'll wait for the count from the back judge. That's not going to come. Handoff. Oh, I thought they had Romero right up the middle. And what a one-handed catch by A.J. Hill. He avoids the hit and scores.
And we did see another touchdown here. Hey, we got 1.2 seconds, 1.4. Maybe we see another one. What a crazy first half.
And what a catch by Hill as he reached out with the right hand.
Bobbled it and got hit.
Took a little bit of a hit and spun off of it and still able to pull that in for a touchdown. 36-24. North Fremont quickly down the field in less than 48 seconds. 2-point conversion. Pitch back to Packer. Great tackle by number 12 for the Mustangs. That's Dylan Stosich as he took Packer down, and Packer still on his back as he took a shot right around the knees. Good open field tackle by Stosich.
Yeah.
So this would be a loss, obviously, for North Fremont. Well, hopefully Packer able to get up and walk off the field, and they are starting to help him up.
Only one game on the college weekend that is a top 20 matchup, that you have two top 20 teams in it. Just one. That's Auburn and Texas A&M, knotted at 3 apiece as the first quarter is coming to an end there. Auburn number 13, Texas A&M number 14. And no other top 25 matchups. This is a week that a number of them will play like 1AA teams as well. Like, for example, BYU, number 16 in the country, has Idaho State University. You know, it's a chance to get your, third stringers some time. You're going to play your first string to start the first quarter and to start the third quarter, and after that, you're going to put in your other boys. Of course, when the 1AA team you're playing is 1 win, 7 losses at the 1AA level or FCS level, it's pretty tough to expect anything different when they're playing a D1 team.
Yeah, tough season once again for ISU. Yeah. It's been a few years in a row.
Well, and of course, the thing that you got to be careful, though, is sometimes those can become catch games for a team like a BYU. Not that they're in threat of losing the game, but if you don't win by a big enough margin,
you start dropping in the polls.
That's right. Start dropping the polls. That can hurt you. And in today's game, with the playoff poll that comes out, that's something you can't really afford to do.
So Packer was shaken up a little bit. He is up and walking around, but still looks like he's hobbling a little bit. We'll see what scenario is with him in the second half. On to kick is Cherry. We'll see what they opt to do here. They do kick fairly deep. Again, taken by Daly. Daly waiting for his blockers to line up a little bit, and that will finally end the half. A crazy scoring second quarter as it's 36-24 as we head to halftime here in this 2A quarterfinal matchup. We're going to step away. Thanks for some sponsors. We'll come back and talk about the first half. This is IdahoSports.com. We'll be right back.
I can't believe we have to make this commercial.
It's ridiculous.
You'll think it's ridiculous too. Listen to this.
This commercial is about, it's about parents being rude at high school athletic events.
Ridiculous, right?
It gets worse. Studies show more than 75% of new high school officials are quitting because of bad adult behavior.
So now there's a shortage of refs here in Idaho, in almost all sports.
No officials means no more games.
Is that what you want for us?
Come on, parents.
It's time to grow up.
Cheer for your team.
Be proud of your children.
But stop being so ridiculous.
And don't make us run another commercial.
Because we will.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association, reminding you to always practice good sportsmanship.
You've heard it before. There is no I in team, but there is an I in dairy. Dairy foods are a great source of protein, which is vital for helping rebuild and repair muscles after exercise. So your body can be at the top of its game at your next competition. So grab some milk, cheese, or yogurt after you work out, train, or play. Yes, it's true. There is no I in team, but there is an I in win. For more help finding your greatness, visit unbottled.com.
It's time to start planning for back to school. That's why I got my kids vaccinated for COVID-19, so they can be protected from COVID when they're back in the classroom. Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. The vaccines have been researched and tested. They're safe and they work. Getting vaccinated was quick and easy. You can walk into a pharmacy to get one. We got our COVID-19 vaccine, and I hope everyone will choose to get vaccinated too.
Get a free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you at covidvaccine.idaho.gov.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. A tranquil lake, a serene sky, an emerald forest, a secret hideout. Thanks for being there just when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Perform, refuel, recover, repeat. It's the recipe for success in any kind of sport, and dairy can be a key ingredient in every one of those steps. Dairy foods supply your body with high-quality protein to rebuild and repair muscle, carbohydrates to help you refuel, and fluid and electrolytes to help you rehydrate. So your personal recipe for greatness can be perform, win, repeat. For more help finding your greatness, visit unbottled.com.
I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, it was an easy process. It's readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Dear Detour, you took us off-road on the gnarliest trails. You asked us to measure up, so yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong, Toyota trucks.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Athletes know how important it is to stay hydrated. But did you know there are other ways to hydrate besides just drinking water? In fact, milk is a great hydration option because it actually contains water, as well as electrolytes that are lost when your body sweats. So consider taking milk along with you to your next game or competition and enjoy the taste of greatness. For more help finding your greatness, visit unbottled.com.
It's time to start planning for back to school. That's why I got my kids vaccinated for COVID-19, so they can be protected from COVID when they're back in the classroom. Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. The vaccines have been researched and tested. They're safe and they work. Getting vaccinated was quick and easy. You can walk into a pharmacy to get one. We got our COVID-19 vaccine, and I hope everyone will choose to get vaccinated too.
Get a free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you at covidvaccine.idaho.gov.
We're a Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
You train, you sweat, you practice, you go for the gold, you give 110%, but most of all, you aim for greatness. And Milk is the performance enhancer that can help get you to your goal. Trusted by athletes and backed by science, there's a healthy helping of greatness in every refreshing glass of milk. So let nature's original sports drink help quench your thirst for greatness. For more help finding your greatness, visit unbottled.com.
I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, it was an easy process. It's readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Blackfoot Communications is and always has been deeply committed to the communities we serve. We strive every day to provide exceptional customer experiences and a vision to bring fiber-based services to every home and business in our service territory. This year, we're beginning our fiber construction to the Island Park area in Idaho. To learn more, visit goblackfoot.com/IdahoSports. Good luck in this year's tournament.
Well, welcome back here. We're at halftime. The matchup between the North Fremont Huskies and the Melba Mustangs, the 2A quarterfinals here at Candler Field in Ashton, Idaho. And it's been back and forth during that, especially the end of that second quarter, but North Fremont able to score with about, just over a second left. Just over a second left, and they push this back to a two-score lead, 36-24, up over the Melba Mustangs. Melba had it down to 6 a couple of times, and North Fremont just tacked on another touchdown to push the lead back out.
Yeah, and of course you got to consider too that Melba does get the ball to come out, and and what they were looking at was potentially being able to come back out and maybe tie and take a lead in this, and now they're looking to pull it back within one score if they're able to do that.
Thus far, kind of a similar, at least the result, similar to what's happened in the first half. Their first meeting over it that was played in Melba early in the season, 38. Is that right? 38 to
48. Yeah.
So a 10-point game, and that's about where we sit now. Just a 12-point game right now.
Yeah.
4 minutes left here at halftime. I want to thank our power boosters, Ultimate Heating and Air over there in the Melba area, Pocock Trucking, Madison Memorial Hospital, Big Judd's, Fall River Electric, Grand Peaks Medical, and want to thank our major sponsors as well that provide this 2021 Idaho State Football Tournament coverage. The Idaho Division of Public Health, your local Toyota dealer, Valleywide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter, Stop Smoking, Start Living. Remind everyone, it's just halftime, but at the end of the ball game, we will have our IdahoSports.com player of the game that we'll hand out as well. So stay tuned for that. Remember to join Idaho Sports Nation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can stay up to date with all the happenings around the state and as far as Idaho high school athletics are concerned. As we head in, girls basketball's just around the corner.
Yeah. It is.
Cross country.
They've already had tryouts and teams are set.
Yeah, they'll have games in a week or two. And, of
Yeah,
course,
I
swimming.
think the 17th.
Yeah,
start
for
having
opening
games,
game.
yeah.
Swimming championships for the
Right.
state were this weekend. So that's been going on. Of course, cross country and volleyball wrapped up.
Yeah.
For fall sports. Football, the last fall sport. And we've still got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, we do. And, of course, football or volleyball, cross country, very successful for East Idaho schools during that period of time. West Side winning the 2A, Sugar winning the 3A division. And, and then you had Madison making it all the way to the 5A state championship game after having to do a play-in game just to get in. Bonneville played for the 4A state championship against Skyview. So it was good. And then in cross country, of course, they just honored down here, during the game, during halftime, they honored those the boys cross country team here who won their first state championship ever in cross country, and Sugar Salem's boys just down the road won cross country and took second for the girls. It was their boys' 7th consecutive. Girls going for their 5th consecutive and ended up being taking second place, but. Just really good. Southeast Idaho tends to do very well.
Take a quick look at the 2A state tournament bracket for the playoffs here. Of course, Westside and Grangeville are squared off. That game going on right now down at Holt Arena at the same time this one. It started at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Bear Lake beat Nampa Christian last night, 14-6, a very close game there. Nampa Christian was the 1 seed coming out of that WIC.
Well, and that was one of the 3 losses for Melba.
Yeah,
this year as
was
well.
It
was 2 Nampa Christian.
Correct, and of course, North Fremont Melba playing right here, and Firth Declo. Firth, they were down 16-13 in that game late, and Firth comes back to pick up the win, a late touchdown pass, secures the win for them. So Firth will match up against the winner of this game, North Fremont and Melba.
Yeah, which if it's North Fremont would be a rematch of the same game last year
exactly
in the semifinals.
And of course, Bear Lake is going to square off against either Westside or Grangeville. Most people would assume that's going to be Westside, and of course, Bear Lake very familiar with Westside.
Yeah, well, and you look at Bear Lake. Those of you who were checking scores last night on the IdahoSports.com scores there, it showed Bear Lake as losing that game. They actually won that game. That has been corrected now.
Got some halftime shenanigans going on here as we're going to lock people out of the press box.
We love coming out to North Fremont. Good folks out here.
So we're just about through halftime here. Just a couple minutes left here at half. If you want to advertise your business on IdahoSports.com, just contact sales@IdahoSports.com for more information. And we've got a lot of great sponsors throughout the state, but especially at this 2A level, just great sponsors for North Fremont.
Always great. Always great.
We've got a little Christmas music going on here at North Fremont. Apparently, some of the football players asked for
and got.
We had, I can't remember the song pregame, but we've got Mariah Carey right now, All I Want for Christmas.
Yelled upstairs to Jim Jorgensen, their announcer, and he said, yeah, they were asking for some Christmas music, the players did. Of course, this part of the country, we usually have some snow by this point. Of course, looking off as we can, the area range of the Grand Teton and Mount Moran and all that over there right now on the Wyoming side where we can see it. There's plenty of snow up top. I'd imagine maybe even some of the ski resorts might be open or have a run or two open.
Yeah, they'll be opening up quickly. If not, many of them trying to open up, of course, right around Thanksgiving time. All the holidays coming up. Everybody, you'll get time off school. Of course, Carter looking forward to that, I'm sure. A little break from school. Granted, you do have to stay at home with your dad, so, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's a tough choice.
Yep.
Oh, your mom's nice though.
Carter's
so
been
it's
with
worth
Shed
it.
Beat his whole life, mainly on the basketball court. I've whooped this boy so many times. We could play every day the rest of our lives, and he'd never dig out of that hole that I've whooped him on the basketball court. Oh, Daddy can play some ball. But more importantly, Daddy can talk some smack.
So the opening kickoff taken right up the middle. That's Stosic on the return, and a good field position out across the 35 here to start the third quarter.
And you know, for Melba, you know, every play like this, when you're trying to come back in the game, is an individual victory. You know, and you've got to kind of celebrate those individual wins, and just keep adding them on top of each other to get where you need to be. But boy, that final 2 minutes of the first half there was a lot of scoring. There was as much scoring in that as you see in most ball games.
Yeah, just a flurry, as now that handoff goes up the middle, and just one man to beat couldn't get free.
That was number 7, Joel Helm, and
it was 4. Sorry,
4. Sorry,
I thought it was when he stood up too.
It looked like it gave Schaefer. And I'll tell you what, Schaefer made a great lateral cut to pick up the extra yards on that play. He was able to get 4 total, but without that extra cut, that might have only been a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Yeah, so he picks up 4, 2nd and 6 upcoming, as now they're out across the 40 to the 41. Just underway here in the third quarter. Schaefer again, big hole up the middle. Schaefer still plowing forward, first down, and then finally gets stood up.
Yeah, never came down. Had that nice low center of gravity. Was able to pick up the first down. And you know, when you get stacked up like that, and the team, that is a mental boost. When you got the first down, but the team was not able to actually get you on the ground. You know, the play gets blown dead for progression stopping. But that gives you a little extra boost in your step, you know. That makes you feel good.
Had 4 Husky tacklers around him and never went down. Progression was stopped, but it's 1st and 10 from their own 49, just shy of midfield. Back in the gun now is Buse. Rolling right. Going down the middle into double coverage, nearly picked off by Lenz.
Boy, and it looked like Lenz tried to knock that down more so than try to pick it, you know. That was a very pickable pass.
Lenz back there playing safety, and I tell you what, he does a great job in that safety position as well. As soon as that pass went up into the air, he was coming over to try to knock it down or make that pick.
Certainly. Coach Lenz yelling out instructions to his team, you know, very active coach. Very active coach.
2nd and 10 now. Buse in the gun again. Handoff goes to Schaefer up the middle. Schaefer breaking free. Down the sideline, now it's a foot race between Schaefer and Lenz. Lenz with the angle brings him down, but not till he gets all the way down to the 10.
Great run by Schaefer. And, you know, if you're Melba, you kind of look back at the end of that first half and you gave up a touchdown. You know, there was only a minute something on the clock. And you think, boy, if we can punch in the end zone here, we could have taken the lead with an extra conversion anyway.
Yeah, and as it is, they could get back within 6 once again. Actually, within 4, my mistake. With a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, it could be 32 to 36. Yeah. So Buse in the gun. Gonna keep it. He's got a lead blocker. He's gonna go outside and slips down.
Yeah. Now he had a couple defenders there that might have only got a yard or so out of it anyway, but you at least want to have that attempt and be able to possibly bounce off of somebody.
So going to lose half a yard.
Remember, Buse is just a sophomore.
So they marked that as 1st and goal. So now it's 2nd and goal back from the 11 after that little loss.
Yeah, it was right on the 10.
Handoff to Stimson. Stimson not going to get much. Picks up a yard and a half inside the 10. Now it's 3rd and goal. 9:30 and counting here in the third quarter.
You know, last time they were in this situation, they had 3 straight runs that didn't get them a lot of yardage. In fact, they lost yardage because of a sack as well and ended up throwing a touchdown pass on their previous touchdown.
So back out onto the field comes West, and off goes number 81. That's Vale, I think.
Yeah, Vale was targeted a number of times in the first half. Both a tight end and a receiver, meaning lining up from those positions.
Crossing route hit the hands.
As number 6, West, Noah West, he had the potential, or had the, it was right there to kind of bring that in. It was that had a lot of sauce on it, that pass did. It was a quick pass. That would have been tough to pull in.
Yeah, it was a very hard thrown ball by Buse, but now it is 4th and goal from just inside the 10.
Well, a great defensive stance for North Fremont.
Buse in the gun, back to pass. Pressure coming, gets rid of it. He's got a receiver out there and off the hands. He had him. It was for Stosic. He was in the end zone, maybe a little too far outside.
Yeah, I think had he have even caught it, I think he'd have been out of bounds. It looked like he was clearly out, and really just a missed opportunity there for Melba.
So Melba comes away empty-handed on that possession. The only upside here is you've got North Fremont pinned a little bit. And they've forced them to punt, and North Fremont's actually made some mistakes from back here near their own end zone with some fumbles that they were able to recover themselves. Handoff right up the middle.
Looks like A.J. Hill with the carry on that.
Yeah, he picks up, we'll say 3, maybe actually 4, closer to 4.
You know, one of the things that's really benefited A.J. Hill this year is his ability to get through that initial front line. Because once you do that, now you're in linebacker territory and into safeties coming up. And if you get a safety matchup, oftentimes they're smaller than you are. You have that advantage with a full head of steam. That time they were able to get him down with their front line.
So a run again. This time it goes to Packer. Packer first down and more. Hard running, and now it looks like we might have an injured Mustang. It looks like he might have got hit by his own guy,
Yeah,
actually.
I was going to say it was number 64, Cody Dickard, that came in there, the junior, the only underclassman on the line, and he came in and laid a big hit right at the end of that play, which was a great hit to get the runner down, but I think he caught his own teammate at the same time. Not sure who that is down on the field.
Yeah, we'll wait till he gets up. That's number 5, it looks like.
Orozco.
Yeah, it is. It's number 5 for Melba.
Yeah,
He's up. Yeah, Alfredo Orozco. He'll come off the field under his own power, so that's good. But you're right. He took a shot just in an attempt to get the ball carrier down, but he just was kind of in between the ball carrier and Dickard, who came in with that big hit.
The result of the play was a first down, so 1st and 10. Huskies.
Under 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Handoff again up the middle and a big hole. And there goes A.J. Hill. We'll see. It's a foot race. He's going to get caught and drugged down by Schaefer.
Gabe Schaefer has ended up having to chase on several occasions, and he's a quick player. And, boy, he's given a great effort today. And what a great run for number 24, A.J. Hill.
Yeah, Hill all the way down to the 15 from about their own 30. It's about a 55-yard run for A.J. Hill and about a 50-yard run for Schaefer as he had to track him down from behind. So 1st and 10 as North Fremont threatening again here, up 12, 7:08 left in the third. Handoff goes to Packer. Packer going to pick up about 4 or 5 on the carry.
In this, if North Fremont scores, in the long run, what it ends up being is a 14-point swing, just for the fact that, you put yourself in great scoring position and we're unable to punch it in. I had a game last night. I had a 5A quarterfinal game with Rigby and Capital, and if you just looked at the stats, you'd think, wow, this is a game that both teams scored in the 40s, 50s, and probably went into overtime. But as it is, it was 41-14 because Capital, they'd get down in scoring position, then just unable to poke it in.
Packer on the carry again, going to pick up a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal at about the 4-yard line, and you're right about the swing. Melba had it 1st and goal at the 10. They're unable to punch it in. They turn it over on downs, and now North Fremont with their own 1st and goal from the 4 with 6:20 left here in the third quarter. And a game North Fremont has never trailed. They led from the start. Handoff up the middle to A.J. Hill, touchdown. And it's now 42-24.
Of course, following this game, we'll pick the IdahoSports.com player of the game. And A.J. Hill's making a little bit of a case for that right now. Of course, we know that they work extra hard because they all want to be that IdahoSports.com player of the game. That's such a big deal to everybody.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, he'd have just kneeled that down on the one. Gave somebody else an opportunity. Yeah, Hill scored a few times here in this ball game. Packers had a great game as well. Lenz back to pass on this two-point conversion, and wide open in the back of the end zone is number 84, Dax Cherry. And that is the two-point conversion. It is good, and now it's a 20-point lead.
Dax Cherry, who still has 12 years of eligibility, according to the the roster here.
He'll be playing until he's, 26, 27?
I'll have to find out. I'm assuming he's probably a sophomore. They probably got the 0 right and left off the 1.
That'd be my guess. But
that's what I'm guessing.
Hey,
or a 9, maybe a freshman that got punched in. We'll find out. Hey, Jim. Yeah, what grade is Cherry? He's a junior. Okay. We just found out Dax Cherry is actually a junior.
So
the
one
numbers
year
weren't
left.
even close.
Not even close. Somebody just...
All right, I'm calling Ben Lenz tonight. Said Lenz,
man,
that mistake has been on there all year. Don't make us that excited thinking this great kid's got 12 years of eligibility left.
You're doing a great job down on the field, but man, could you work on your roster a little bit? It's ridiculous. Coach Lenz, of course, Lance, you mentioned he's the head women's basketball coach here at North Fremont. He's got a state title as well with them.
He does. And he's a homegrown North Fremont kid from Ashton, born and raised. His dad has been very influential in the programs here as well and has helped Ben out many times in football and basketball.
This kick short into the sideline, going to bounce out of bounds for a procedure penalty.
Yeah, that'll come out to 35. So good field position again for Melba to start off. They've just got to be able to capitalize if they want an opportunity to win this ball game.
Yeah, on that last drive had an opportunity to get within 4, and now after a good drive and score by North Fremont, they find themselves down 20 with 6:06 left in the third.
Yep, they do.
Melba will come back at the 35-yard line. It'll be their starting field position. It's go time now for the Mustangs. With a quarter and a half left in this ball game. Stimson slipped, but Buse was on a straight take anyways. Picks up 6 across the 40.
If Melba was to get eliminated today, that would remove their conference completely from the playoff picture.
Yeah, you'd have Firth, North Fremont,
West Side, and Bear Lake, potentially. If Grangeville won, then they'd represent up towards the northern part of the state. But there is a realistic chance of having an entire southeast Idaho
districts 5 and 6
semis and championship game.
Yep. First down, nice run by Schaefer out across midfield to the 49-yard line. Clock running.
In fact, if West Side was to win today, and North was to win, the championship game would have to be a 5A4 District 5 District 6 matchup, because it would be District 5 versus District 5 in the semis and District 6 versus District 6 in the semis.
So a timeout taken by North Fremont. 5:28 left in the third quarter.
Well, St. Anthony Motors, get $10 oil changes for life at the purchase of any new or pre-owned vehicle. St. Anthony Motors services all makes and models. Their service department loves servicing Southeast Idaho with professional and expert customer service. Come in today and talk with their amazing sales team to find the perfect vehicle for your needs. You'll find that at St. Anthony Motors, everything is just a tad less. ProPete fertilizer is an enviro-friendly product and reduces leaching. ProPete can help replace organic matter back into the soil. Peat-bound nutrients release when plants need them. Carbon 90 Plus binds nutrients to the natural carbon of peat moss, encouraging steady plant growth and healthier turf with less mowing and thatch. ProPete is a great product for turf and ornamental application. Uses range from lawns and gardens to shrubs and trees. ProPete wants to wish the North Fremont boys good luck in the playoffs.
So after the timeout, it's 1st and 10 for Melba. Buse rolling to his right.
His man's open. He's got separation.
Great catch out there by number 12. Once again, Stosic Stosic, he's been one of the main receivers on the afternoon for Melba, and a big first down to the 26-yard line.
It's his second, catch for over 20 yards in the air as well.
Double handoff up the middle goes to Stimson. And initially it went to 11 and then to Stimson. 11, that is overall.
Well, and it looked like a little misdirection as well, which is good. Kind of what you would see it like out of a wing or a wing T.
Two wideouts here now on the far side. Buse looking down the field, going for his receiver and overthrown. I think it was Stosic, the intended receiver, but he was running into double coverage with the safety Lenz coming over.
Yeah, and again, the pass was over. Even if with a catch, that would have been tough to keep within the boundaries of the end zone. I'm looking down here on the sideline at some of these underclassmen, that are dressing for, for the state playoffs and stuff that typically play JV minutes and so forth. There's several big boys down there on the side of the field for North Fremont.
Handoff to Schaefer. The flag comes in at the end, and you got to think that's going to be a holding penalty. Schaefer picked up the first down on the carry, but it's going to come back. Which is unfortunate for Melba because they picked up the first down.
Well, the things that hurt you, the one step forward, two step back plays just really, catch up after a period of time.
So that'll be 10 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and about 13 upcoming. Now we'll say 3rd and 12. With 4:40 left here, Melba, another good drive going here, and that penalty kind of slows things down. We'll see if they can pick it up here on 3rd and a long 12. Buse steps up, fires, and incomplete.
Oh, wow, and it was caught for just a moment. It looked like Noah West had that. He had a great slide. In fact, he kind of came down on top of A.J. Hill's leg a little bit. Hill's limping, but the pass was great, and Noah West had it, was just unable to maintain possession.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to come away with a good catch. Like you said, sliding down, kind of that 4 slide like you would do as an outfielder, and just couldn't hold on to it. 4th and 11 now. Buse rolling, going down the field, and incomplete.
Same thing again, had his guy there, and it hit him right in the hands, just unable to pull it in.
And
that's going to be a turnover on downs.
They went right after the man who'd come in for Hill, number 17. That's Gutierrez. He's 5'5",
130.
So they had the size advantage, but
and the pass was perfectly thrown. It just ended up coming right off of the hands of number 6 Noah West, and for the second possession in a row now, an opportunity to score, and instead turn it over on downs.
And those are a couple drives you're going to look back on possibly and really earmark in this ball game that hurt Melba, as they're still down 20 here with 4:15 left in the 3rd. Back to pass is Lenz. Throws it across the middle. It's picked off. Daly picks it off. And now he's got a return opportunity. Slips down to the 36-yard line.
Great play by Daly to be able to pick it off and get him back in good position. Great field position, 1st and 10 to start. Dylan Stosic there had an opportunity to step up and throw a block that might have picked up another 14, 15 yards. Instead, he kind of watched the play happen. Maybe just extra excited that his that his teammate caught the interception, but
a little surprised to see Lenz just kind of loft that up over the middle into a lot of coverage. You don't see him make those throws too often.
I saw him overthrow a couple passes this year, that were a little bit deeper, but I've never seen one that was just kind of one of those Hail Mary passes that's up for grabs.
Daly makes a good play on it. Now it's Melba ball once again. Now Buse on the run. He's got room to go. Slides down, and everybody ends up on top of him.
Yeah, I think officially getting the tackle on that play is going to be Hank Richardson.
Yeah,
But just because he was the first to touch him after he gave himself up. But, good first down run. And, Look didn't have his receiver and didn't have his check down either. Went ahead and was able to get some positive gain out of it, 4 yards.
So 2nd and 6 upcoming. Buse heads under center. Turns, hands it off to Stimson. Stimson to the outside, breaks a couple tackles, flags coming in.
Boy, and I'll tell you, an assistant coach for North Fremont was awfully close to picking up a unsportsmanlike penalty for his own team, which is.
And the call was made. Obviously he was frustrated. I think it was probably a chop block of some sort.
Yeah.
But some frustration from the coaching staff. But, officials can't stop the players from doing those kind of things. They can only throw flags.
That's right. They can only, throwing a flag gives an incentive for a player not to do it, but you can't stop them from doing it.
Yeah. But, the assistant coach has good move by him. He went over to the bench, got a drink, take a little moment, and come back to coaching. So it's going to be 2nd and 12 now. Buse rolling to his right, looking downfield. He's got a man at the sticks, and he slipped. Otherwise, he had some more room to run, did Stosic.
I think he still got it by about a half yard.
Yeah. He made his cut back to the inside and lost his footing.
Yeah. It was a good cutback. Had he have, been able to stay on his feet there and not slip, as we've seen several slips today, but had he have been able to do that, he might have been able to pick up another 5-10 yards.
So it's a first down after the penalty, so a good pickup there. Buse under center. Handoff up the middle to Stimson. Stimson churning.
Boy, what a great run by Stimson. Holy cow. Kept his feet moving. In on the tackle first was number 8, Cutter Bowman. Cutter just a sophomore, 5'11", 145 pounds, and he had the size disadvantage in that matchup.
Yeah, Stimson picks up 8 at 2nd and 2. 2:22 left in the third. Handoff again. This time it's Daly. Daly trying to spin free, but he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage is all.
Well, Daly paused for a minute and was really trying to find a blocker to follow in there, and the blockers got pushed back, and he just really had nowhere to go. No hole opened up.
Yeah, Packer in there first along with several teammates on the tackle. 3rd and 2. Another one of those third down situations here, and this is, at least in this half, this has been where Melba has struggled. They haven't been able to pick up the first downs needed at this point. It goes to Schaefer. Schaefer's going to get the first down. And they do signal first down, so Schaefer gets it by about a yard, and it'll be 1st and 10 with the ball just at the 15-yard line.
We talk about there's always a hill on a North Fremont team. So just looking at some of the underclassmen coming up, Jacob Hill, sophomore, Jed Hill, a sophomore, Carson Hill, a freshman, all listed on the roster that'll be coming up for this program.
Buse back to pass, going to the corner of the end zone and incomplete.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably got to be a pass interference.
That's probably going to go against Dax Cherry. A little discussion over there on the sideline.
Yeah. Now you don't have to turn and acknowledge like you used to. But you still cannot make contact that influences the result. So
yeah, you just can't Cherry just kind of drove him out of bounds.
Yeah,
a little bit, and so that is a pass interference.
Make it
1st and goal now. I'm not sure if it's 1st and goal or 1st and 3.
It's actually 1st and 3.
Because it was half the distance.
Short 3, long 2.
Handoff goes to Daly. Daly's trying to get around the corner, and he might have got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. Man, it almost looked like if they just handed it off to Stimson up the middle, there was a lot of room in the middle of the field open.
Yeah. Well, the last couple passes have spread the defense just a little bit. The outside linebackers are out a little bit wider, about 2 yards apiece.
Yeah, I think Melba's coaching staff might have seen that. You might see a Stimson or a Schaefer up the middle here. It does go to Stimson right up the middle, touchdown.
Yep, that's what the passing game opened up for them, was ability to get a hole in the middle on a run.
And the Melba coaching staff did see it. They knew exactly what they were doing, and a big hole for Stimson, Jace Stimson, to run through for a touchdown here with 29 seconds left in the third. It's down back to a two-score game.
44-30. We have not seen either team go for a kick extra point today. It's been 2-point conversions each time.
And it is, once again, Buse. Handoff to Schaefer. Schaefer following blockers. He's in. Good job by Schaefer to just stay behind that line. Follows him right in and over the goal line for a 2-point conversion. 29 seconds left to go in the quarter. It's back to a 12-point lead for North Fremont.
You know, and what hurt really bad for Melba was not being able to convert
on those first couple drives, right?
Yeah. Not being able to get that stop with just over a minute left in the first half, and then not being able to convert on that first possession of the second half when they got in scoring position. That really hurt bad.
We'll say it's going to be very unlikely that it'll be 48-38 like the original mashup. It'll be tough to get. I mean, they could do it with a couple safeties.
Yeah.
But we're probably going to have a different score, but it's awfully close. I mean, this is very reminiscent of this first matchup between these two teams earlier this season.
Well, we're still in the third quarter with 29 seconds left, which means that it's completely possible that another score could go up on the board during this quarter as well. Of course, the 8-man football divisions in Idaho, 181, 182, it's very not uncommon to put up big scores. We saw last night Oakley drop 80 points in a ball game. Not uncommon.
Oakley probably hasn't scored 80 points in a basketball game for a few years.
Yeah, it is just not uncommon to see 60, 70, 80 points dropped on a consistent basis.
Little squib kick taken and covered by Angel Romero. He'll fall on it right at the 35-yard line.
Now Romero is especially one of those guys that could pick that up and run it, because he is one of their main guys.
That ball was moving pretty fast, though. I like that where it was on the ground like that. He kind of just trapped it. I'm all right with that one. I want to thank our tournament coverage sponsors, the Idaho Division of Public Health, your local Toyota dealer, Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores and Project Filter. Stop smoking, start living.
Guess what Toyota does? They go places.
A.J. Hill breaks free of a tackle and then runs over a wood.
But
he got him out of bounds. I mean, he did his job.
That's right. That's one of those where A.J. Hill looks and he says, hey, you might knock me out of bounds, but you got to think twice next time before you take me head on.
Harrington giving up probably about 30-plus pounds on Hill, but got him out of bounds. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Handoff right up the middle, and Packer gets stood up.
Yeah,
good defensive play
great
there.
defense by Melba. Melba with that motivation coming right off of that score. And I think the first one in on that was Trace Stimson, the running back who scored on their previous possession. Now defensively, as we talk about, most of the top players for the 2A division will go both ways.
And that ends the third quarter. North Fremont up 44-32 over the Melba Mustangs.
Pocock Trucking is based in Sugar City, Idaho, but sends trucks all over the western United States and Canada. Pocock Trucking is full service, and by that we mean they do everything. They haul bulk commodities like feed, fertilizer, grain, as well as potatoes. They offer minor shop repairs and have a full-service lube bay. They grow potatoes, dairy-quality alfalfa, and more. They can even sell you a used truck if you need one. Pocock Trucking's main office is in Sugar City, and their truck shop is located in St. Anthony. To find out more, go to PocockTrucking.com. Pocock proudly supports the North Fremont Athletics and wants to wish them good luck in the state playoffs. Upper Valley Orthopedics is the Upper Snake River Valley's renowned state-of-the-art orthopedic and sports medicine clinic. Doctors Michael Larson, Kevin Lee, and Travis Torngren are all board-certified orthopedic surgeons treating all conditions of the shoulder, elbow, hand and wrist, hip, knee, foot, ankle, and sports-related injuries. Please call for an appointment at 208-356-9550 or simply request online at uppervalleyortho.com. Upper Valley Orthopedics in Rexburg is a proud supporter of North Fremont Athletics. They've always been so good, Upper Valley Orthopedic, to step up and really sponsor all the schools in the Upper Snake River Valley. That includes usually, Rigby, Madison, South Fremont, Sugar Salem, North Fremont.
And there goes Packer. He got it on the pitch. He split the defenders, and down the sideline he goes for a 50-yard touchdown run. But there's a flag back here at midfield.
I mean, you could see once he got past the line of scrimmage, he was going to make it to the end zone because nobody had an angle. Nobody had that angle, and he's just too fast. But a penalty, a holding, is going to bring that back, and we're going to get a few boos out of the North Fremont fans. But there was an obvious hold.
I think it was A.J. Hill.
Yeah.
He kind of standing there next to the official, the umpire that threw the flag, and he kind of looked at him, and the official just looked at him with his hands up like, hey, I got to throw that one.
That's right. Don't make it so easy on me to throw a flag.
You got to be a little bit, tricky about it.
Yeah,
So what would have been a 50-yard touchdown run from Packer is called back on the holding penalty.
Yeah, and it's a 10-yard spot foul.
So about 2nd and 19 upcoming. Packer gets it again, coming around the edge and met immediately. Good tackle there.
Yeah, they tried the same thing. It was the same side, but however, they were more towards the left hash mark, and not a lot of running room.
Yeah, West. Number 6 was the first guy that hit him. That's West, Noah West for Melba.
If you're able to get a stop here near the Mustangs, you've got an opportunity to then pull us within a score. If you can get down and do the same thing you did last possession.
Yeah, by no means is Melba out of this football game with 11 minutes and 10 seconds left. Still a lot of game to play.
Well, and as quickly as they all can score, we saw in a 2-minute stretch 3 touchdowns put up on the board the first half.
Lenz thought he was going to run it and nearly intercepted by Daly. Good defense that time. Wasn't tricked at all.
Yeah. Seeing what happens in that when it's underthrown like that, the defender who's inside now technically becomes the eligible receiver on that. So now the onus is on the offensive man to not get a pass interference call on that.
That was good coverage by Daly. Nearly picked it off.
Yeah, Dax Cherry, the intended receiver.
And now they force the punt. So Melba does exactly what they needed to do. They score and now force North Fremont into a 3-and-out. Good punt.
Wow.
But going to land out of bounds.
It looks like it's going to be around the 16, 17-yard mark.
Well, the official, they're going to say.
Wow, 22. That's pretty generous. Yeah, the North Fremont fans start booing that.
It's like, it went like 6. But it did land out of bounds, and so that side official is kind of looking back to the white hat to know where it went out of bounds.
Yeah, and you have to consider your angle on that, how far out it hit, where he kicked from and stuff. And trust me, folks, that's not an exact science. It's an estimate.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Melba from the 22-yard line with an opportunity to get this back to a single score game. Handoff up the middle goes to Schaefer. Schaefer wrapped up from behind, but he's going to gain 4 or 5 on his way out to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, brought down by Carson Packer that time. But, they rushed into the backfield, and so once he was initially able to break past that line, speaking of Schaefer, he actually had some running room because defenders were behind him.
Handoff to Schaefer again. No, that's number 11, on the carry.
That's Overall.
Overall. Yeah, Brenton Overall on the carry. And he a little slow to get off the turf, but up and back at it. Yeah. 1st down for the Mustangs. Now out to the 32-yard line. Inside handoff goes to Stimson. Stimson breaks free into the secondary and finally taken down on the far hash out to the 46-yard line.
That was number 2, Jed Hill, the sophomore, 5'11", 155, had to bring him down, and that's a tough tackle. You're giving up some size out there, and you're giving it up to a guy that's got a full head of steam, and really what happened, that double reverse there ended up really causing some havoc.
Nice throw on the run there. It is caught for another 1st down. That is William Vale with the 1st down reception.
Yeah, Cutter Bowman 5'11", 145-pound sophomore as well. Gets out there and makes the tackle on that play. But right now, some good momentum behind Melba.
As they continue to move the football down the field now to the 41-yard line of North Fremont. 9:32 on the clock. Buse back to pass. Rush coming. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down. All the way back.
Romero got there first, and then coming in to finish the tackle off was Packer.
All the way back to the 49, so a loss of about 10 on the play. 2nd and 20 upcoming now for Melba. There's just too many guys rushed that time, and there weren't enough blockers up front for Melba.
Yeah. Now it puts him back in essentially a 2nd and 20. 19. But they've got out of this before, you know. They have the plays that can get them out of it. It's just a matter of converting on them. Penalties have been played a larger role here in the second half than they did in the first.
Schaefer tripped up, but he's going to pick up 5 or 6. I'll make it 3rd and long still. It's going to be about 3rd and 14. Schaefer had one man to beat, and he probably could have picked up 10 more, just got ankle tackled.
Yeah, possibly could have.
A big 3rd and long here. And we're going to have a timeout. Probably a good spot for it for the Melba Mustangs to talk about this 3rd down play.
Very much so, as they have an opportunity to pull this within 1 score as this game moves forward. Baxter Funeral Home in Ashton is a full-service funeral home with a focus on traditional service offerings. They understand how difficult it can be when your family experiences a loss. Their professional and dedicated staff will walk you through every step of the process, helping you create a unique service that best fits your values as well as your needs. Located at 717 Main Street in Ashton, we are honored to service your funeral needs. Find out more by visiting them at Baxter FH. That's BaxterFH.com. Or simply give them a call at 208-652-3226. Baxter Funeral Home is proud to support the students in the area, and they say good luck to the boys tonight. Crapo Trucking is a locally owned and operated heavy haul trucking company situated right in St. Anthony, Idaho. Their office is located at 1908 East 500 North, or give them a call at 208-624-3293. Being part of the community is important for Crapo Trucking, and they are proud to support all of the local schools and student athletes. The crew at Crapo Trucking wants to wish the North Fremont boys good luck today.
So Melba and North Fremont back out onto the field after that timeout by Melba here at Candler Field in Ashton, Idaho. Melba trying to get back into this ball game. Buse rolls out, looking for a receiver. He gets it to the underneath man, but he's going to be short of the 1st down, but 4th and much more manageable at this point.
Yeah, it is. Got it out to William Vell. William Vell was a big target in the first half, not as much so far in the second half. But he's a big tight end. He's a kid that if you get him open, he's going to be a tough tackling assignment for anybody in the secondary.
I like the decision there by Buse. He had a man further downfield, but there was tight coverage on him, so he went with the underneath route.
Well,
Vale.
They did a double fake on it. He faked to both running backs, the fullback and the tailback, and ends up then spinning and reversing course to get the pass off, and it caught the defense kind of on their heels.
A big 4th down here for the Mustangs, as we're going to have 2 wideouts to our near side and 1 to the far side. Buse in the gun. Back to pass. Pressure, and Buse couldn't get rid of it. A big sack by number 61, Jacob Bells.
Bellis just did, boy, he got in there quick, and he is a big boy. Hey, this Bellis is 6'3", 248 pounds. Like we said before, 248 might be generously light because he is a big boy, and he got in there quick.
Yeah, Buse just had nowhere to go with that football. The play couldn't develop because of how quickly he got into the backfield.
Ended up being a turnover on downs.
Another big stop for the North Fremont defense. That's about their 3rd one here in the second half. 7-12, Lenz with the carry.
Good carry by Lenz. Kind of caught the defense off guard as they followed A.J. Hill out to the side. 3 defenders went with Hill, and it allowed a 6-yard gain by Lenz.
And Lenz hasn't carried the ball much today.
Not as much as he typically does, and yeah, because they've only ran the true triple option. Just a small handful of times.
They've used, like you mentioned, Hill. They've used Packer. They've used, coming in right there, Romero at times has carried the ball as well. And now they split Packer all the way out to the far side. Handoff goes to Hill around the right side. He's going to pick up the first down to the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Huskies.
Yeah, what Hill got on that was an initial hole. He got initial 2 good blocks there on the front line, allowed him to go into that secondary.
So 1st and 10 for the Huskies with 6 minutes, 20 seconds left here. In command, 44-32 over Melba. And now it's a time thing that becomes the issue for the Mustangs.
And clock management is something that Ben Lenz does a very, very good job of. And, when you're primarily a running team, that gives you the ability to manage the clock quite a bit better than a passing team does.
They hand it off to Packer, trying to get to the outside. There's going to be a hold. What a great open field tackle by Daly.
Yeah, and there's going to be a hold on that. And Daly, boy, what a great job to get out and get that ankle tackle out on the perimeter so that he couldn't cut upfield. It was going to be nullified anyway by the penalty. However, it was a great tackle as it was, because you never know. You got to run the play through and go from there.
So it'll be 1st and about 21, it looks like. 5:46 and counting. And that's the nice thing. You talk about time management. When you have the lead and you're the running team, it is handy to be able to run that clock down, and that's what they're doing right now. Packer on the carry. Stumbles forward for about 5 or 6. And
I thought for a moment there might have been a fumble, but it must have been somebody's shoe or their calf.
Couple players switch out for the Mustangs on defense, and Romero back into the game with the play call. 5 minutes and counting, and that's the big story of this game thus far has been the stops that North Fremont's been able to force when good field position. Melba's had it good field position a couple times and just got turned away on downs. Handoff goes to A.J. Hill for about 5 more. It's going to be 3rd and 9 upcoming.
A name we haven't called as much in the second half as we did in the first was Angel Romero. He carried the ball a lot in the first half. The heavy load has really been carried by A.J. Hill and, as well as Packer in the second half. And it's not like those two didn't get significant carries in the first either. It's just Romero was kind of in that mix a little more. Now I think he's more of a decoy as we see A.J. Hill and Carson Packer with most of the carries.
Yeah, Romero, he's had a lot of duties at running the play calls in from the sideline. Now he's all the way split out as a wideout way over here. Pitch goes to Hill, nowhere to go for him.
Yeah, and there's that traditional triple option there that you'll see them run. You see that a lot in the military schools as well. It's a good block outside by number 82, Hank Richardson, but just not enough to be able to allow Hill to turn upfield.
So a timeout taken by the Melba Mustangs with 4:06 left in the ball game.
If you're the parent of a high school senior who is planning to continue their education at college or through technical training, Fall River Electric offers scholarships valued up to $2,400 for each student. Scholarship applications for students of customers of Fall River Electric will be available online after January 1st of 2022 at fallriverelectric.com. Click the My Community tab for information and application forms. Let Fall River Electric help your student continue their education. Fall River Electric, your trusted energy partner. I'd like to thank all of our local sponsors who stepped up and brought this game to you today. Blackfoot Communications, St. Anthony Motors, Pro Pete, Pocock Trucking, Upper Valley Orthopedics, Baxter Funeral Home, Crapo Trucking, and Fall River Electric.
Huge thanks to all of those sponsors, as well as Blackfoot Communications. Heard from them a couple of times. And of course, our power boosters and our major sponsors. Without them, we can't get these games to you. There's Idaho Division of Public Health, your local Toyota dealer, Valleywide Co-op, and Project Filter. 4th and 9. Back to passes Lenz. Got some pressure from behind. He goes down the field and incomplete. Looked like as Richardson tried to cut to the outside, lost his footing, and that'll be a turnover on downs. So a little bit of life left here for the Mustangs with just under 4 minutes left to go in the ball game.
And as quickly as both these teams can score, if you're Melba, if you get down and pick up a quick score on another stop, you give yourself an opportunity. Timeouts have not been wasted in this second half. So you're able to move forward a little bit with that and have those to your advantage.
But time is not on Melba's side. They've got to do things quickly. As Buse takes it in the gun. Now down the field he goes, and it's caught. He laid that right between the two defenders, and a great catch by Daly.
Yeah, Daly gets out, and surrounding Daly, really, Jordan Lenz was out there, as well as Jacob Hill, the sophomore, and Lenz, I think he thought that maybe Buse had given up on the play, passing that, so he kind of pulled off just a little bit, and then got caught on his heels.
So a nice first down pickup all the way down to the 25-yard line. Buse still on the run. Now he's going to take off and go. Got a block. He's down the sideline. First down and more. Down to about the 12-yard line. 1st and 10.
Well, and if you're Coach Juan Kalunga, you've got to look and say, wow, we got this kid another 2 years.
Yeah, he's got great size for a quarterback. He hasn't run the ball a lot, but you saw once he gets out in the open field, he does have some speed.
Yeah, he does.
And now a flag thrown, and I think this is going to go. This very well may go against the North Fremont sideline.
Yeah, I was going to say it might even be it's going to be a sideline warning, but it might, unsportsmanlike conduct as well. I mean, it's a sideline warning, but it wasn't because they were encroaching in on the field. It was because there was a lot of yelling going on from the sidelines.
Daly in motion. Handoff to Schaefer up the middle. Not much room to run. Maybe picked up a couple, it looks like, to the 10.
Yeah, we got the forward progression on that brings up a 2nd and 8.
Under 3 minutes now, 2:51 and counting. A little bit of momentum here for Melba as they're quickly back to the line. Stimson with the carry up the middle. He's going to pick up about 3 or 4 more. It's going to be 3rd down.
That's manageable third and kind of a long 4, short 5.
They've got the ball at about the 7-yard line. 2:26 and counting. Under center goes Buse. Stimson with the carry, and he gets stuck.
Yeah, he did get some significant yards. They'll bring up about a 4th and 1 on the play. However, Stimson, he was again looking for a blocker to follow, and was just unable to find a hole open up.
An injured player. It's going to be 4th and 1, but an injured Melba Mustang down on the field. So clock will stop. They're going to pull the teams off with 2:13 left in this ball game. Remember, we're going to have our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game awarded after this, the final tick off the clock. I want to thank our Power Boosters, Ultimate Heating and Air, Pocock Trucking, Madison Memorial Hospital, Fall River Electric, Grand Peaks Medical, and Big Judd's. Also want to thank our tournament coverage sponsors, the Idaho Division of Public Health, your local Toyota dealer, Valleywide Co-op and Country Store, and Project Filter, Stop Smoking, Start Living. If
man still down on the field.
Yeah, they're kind of taking a look at him. There with him is Vale as well as Stosich around him, and they're kind of checking out one of the legs or knees of the down player.
Once again, the winner of this game will face Firth next week after Firth down at Holt Arena last night knocked off Declo. Of course, Declo several years ago went through a few really good years of football, and Keegan Duncan was there as an athlete. Keegan signed with Boise State initially, and then ended up down at Utah State. I don't know exactly where he's at now.
That's number 55. It might be, I think it was 55. If it was 55.
That's Sean Canoy.
Yeah,
and if it was, he got off the field. I mean, a little help, but for the most part, was able to put weight on lower body.
So it's 4th and 1. The ball's at the 5. Stimson with the carry, first down, and more. Stimson in for the touchdown. He would not be denied, and it is a one-score game.
Stimson just willing himself into the end zone on that particular play. As like you said, he would not be denied. He got in, he made it work, and pulls him within a single score.
It's a 6-point ball game. They'll go for 2, as they have throughout, to pull it to 4. That doesn't really matter in this scenario. Down 6 right now with 2 minutes left. Buse on a straight keeper, gets stood up. I don't think he got
not
there.
Get in, but they're still just a touchdown down. That wasn't going to necessarily make a significant benefit other than, with the 6, if you were to come back and tie it, you do have to convert on the extra one in order to win. So that could be, a little bit of a difference. But, you look, they got the turnover on downs on the last possession when they were on defense. An opportunity now for them to try to get another stop and punch it in. But if you're North Fremont here, clock management becomes extremely important and, force Homedale maybe into using the remaining timeouts.
So it will
Pardon
be.
me, not Homedale, Melba. I meant Melba.
I knew what you meant.
I see the red and white.
Yeah.
Homedale playing right now against South Fremont
yeah.
for an opportunity to play Sugar Salem, who won Thursday night. That game with Sugar and Marsh Valley, won by Sugar Salem. That opened up the quarterfinal round for the state playoffs in Idaho. It was the first of the games. In fact, I think it was the only Thursday night game.
I think so.
If I remember, there were a number of games, of course, last night and a handful today.
So you got to think that we'll see what Melba opts to do here. Will they try to kick it onside and try to get the ball back that way? Do they rely on their defense a little bit? What do you do here with just 2:06 left? And if you're North Fremont, the idea is here, pick up a first down. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Run some time off the clock, pick up a first down, and try to bleed this clock out.
Out here ready for the kickoff. North Fremont's back deep. And I'd imagine we'll see a squib kick here, especially after what happened on the very first kickoff of the game. It was run back fairly deep.
Yeah, just the way that ball's sitting on that tee. It's going to go little roller, and he gets hit, but it's fielded nicely there.
And it didn't go the 10 yards anyway. It went 9 yards, which means, it can be recovered by the offense with no penalty, by the receiving team with no penalty, but could not be covered by the kicking team without the penalty.
Yeah, number 67, that's Fabinich. Out there, just scooped it up. A nice little roller. It didn't have that weird hop. It was just kind of spinning sideways, and he was able to corral it easily. But it's 1st and 10 now for North Fremont. At the 49-yard line of Melba. Handoff right up the middle and drugged down after about a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6 with 1:56 and a timeout taken by Melba.
That was A.J. Hill on the carry that time. Wasn't able to see. That was pretty congested. Looked a little more like a rugby scrum than traditional American football.
And the entire Melba football team out on the field during this timeout. They've got to get a stop. Yeah, they have to get a stop here. I don't think if Melba has a timeout left, they've got one, if they have one.
Well, Melba at this point has matched their point total for the first time these two teams played at 38 points. But this time, 38 points brings them within a score rather than down 10 as they lost 48-38. Second ball game of the season for both teams.
I thank our local sponsors once again: Blackfoot Communications, St. Anthony Motors, Pro Pete, Pocock Trucking, Upper Valley Ortho, Baxter Funeral Home, Crapo Trucking, and Fall River Electric. As after the timeout, it's 2nd and a long 6 upcoming. A little bit of pressure coming up the middle. That ball was fumbled on the snap. Lenz picks it up and gains a few yards.
Yeah, unfortunate to get any yards out of that after, that's twice it's been put on the turf from a snap. I mean, they lost the last one that way.
It's 4-down territory, of course, for North Fremont here, but they've got a 3rd and 3 upcoming.
Well, and you got to assume they're going to use all the clock they can. They'll wait for the back judge to start making, his final 5-second countdown before they snap this.
Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's the man you want to watch is the back judge. And here comes the count here momentarily.
Doesn't
Hand
have
off.
to get into it.
First down. And that just about will do it. First down for A.J. Hill with 1:09 left on the clock. And you'll just about be able to salt it away as the clock starts.
Well, A.J. Hill, a huge part of the points that are scored that are showing up there on the board right now. And then with that last possession right there, that last one right there, made this so it'll be awfully, awfully difficult for a comeback.
So a valiant game as they're into the victory formation. Lenz kneels it down. The clock will continue to run down to 35 seconds. A valiant effort from the Melba Mustangs. They're going to just come up short, 6 points short, as they are going to lose 44-38 in a fantastic ball game here at Candler Field in Ashton, Idaho.
And it sets up a semifinal rematch from last year's state playoffs.
We're going to step away as the teams congratulate each other out there on the field. We're going to step away for a quick break and come back with our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Well, welcome back here as we've gone final. Teams just out to congratulate each other on what was a fantastic ball game, 44-38, the final. North Fremont moves on to the semifinals to face a very familiar foe in the Firth Cougars next week. And that game will either be here or at the Dome, more than likely.
More than likely at the Dome. I don't know if maybe Madison is a choice.
That would be, I guess.
As a potential site there, but if Westside beats Grangeville today, then it is an all Southeast Idaho District 5, District 6 semifinals and final for 2A.
And that game, that championship game at that point would definitely be
in
at
the
Holt
Dome.
Arena.
Yeah, that would be at Holt Arena.
And Pocatello in 2 weeks. So, but the North Fremont Huskies, their playoff run and hopes are still alive here as they come away with a 6-point victory over a very good Melba Mustang team. Melba Mustangs just couldn't capitalize on some good drives where they were turned away inside the 20 in the red zone and once inside the 10.
Yeah, that was really the difference in today's game is they both were able to move up and down the field. And, again, I think if you looked at overall stats from the game, you'd see, very, very similar. The difference was being able to score in the red zone. Once you get in there, you got to be able to put points on the board. If not, awfully tough. Because at the end of the game, if you want to move on, you got to have more points on the board.
It's a simple game. Well, our IdahoSports.com player of the game is going to be number 24, A.J. Hill, for the North Fremont Huskies. Just had a monster game. He was the main ball carrier along with Packer. He mixed a couple other guys in there, but A.J. Hill, he picks up that final first down to kind of seal the win. he got him the yards when they needed. He scored at least 2 or 3 touchdowns. Just a fantastic ball game for number 24, A.J. Hill.
Yeah, A.J. Hill, he's been tough as the senior. This is a team that and a program that's been so close to winning a state championship the last several years. They've done it twice in basketball recently. Just got one for their cross-country boys team. And, boy, wouldn't this group of seniors that started in this program as sophomores love to step up and win a state championship.
Well, that's going to do it for us. This has been an IdahoSports.com game stream production of the 2021 Idaho State Football Tournament. Tournament coverage presented by the Idaho Division of Public Health, your local Toyota dealer, Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter. Stop smoking, start living. I'd also like to thank all of our local advertisers tonight. I want to thank Blackfoot Communications, St. Anthony Motors, Pro Pete Fertilizer, Pocock Trucking, Upper Valley Ortho, Baxter Funeral Home, Crapo Trucking, and Fall River Electric. Huge thanks to all of them, as well as our power boosters, Ultimate Heating and Air, Pocock Trucking, Madison Memorial Hospital, Big Judd's, Fall River Electric, and Grand Peaks Medical. Congratulations to A.J. Hill, our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And thanks for joining us as the North Fremont Huskies come away with a win, defeating the Melba Mustangs by a score of 44-38 to move on to the 2A state semifinals next weekend. For my broadcast partner, Lance Taylor and Carter Taylor, huge thanks to him coming with us today, and everyone else behind the scenes at IdahoSports.com. I'm Lauren Jensen saying thanks for joining us, and so long, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com game streams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com